This is how to be a better person. Find what makes you happy, make it happen till it's working. And if it isn't working, keep on doing it anyway. Dying on your sword is the reward for your hard work. We living in a world full of pyramid schemes. Everybody want the money, so they'll sell you a dream. I make GHETTOLAND because I wanna sell you one too. Only difference between us is that I'll tell you the truth.
Here, just say like anything.
Swag.
Here, could you use swag in a full sentence?
My swag told my mother to swag, and then I swagged all over the place.
All right, now could you lean back and sit in like a more natural, yeah.
My swag told your swag to see his swag tomorrow at 3 p.m. or else your swag will get beat up. My swag, 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 swaggity swag. Plosives, implosives, and plosives.
Okay. All right, this is go. I always just have paranoia that
I know it's, yes, I know exactly
like when
what
I
you
can't
mean.
see the red dot, it's the worst.
That's what I don't, my camera, it's so impossible to see it sometimes.
Yeah. All right, so we're going. This will be a little bit of a noisy episode because we're in a park, but you know what are you gonna do? You're gonna not watch it? Just watch it. So it is what it is.
And there'll be cop sirens and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're in Downey. We're gonna be good.
Oh, good.
No cop sirens.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
All right.
Yeah. Who's your main in Smash?
Young Link.
Young Link?
Yes.
Ooh. That's
Easy.
that's a good choice.
I be fucking niggas up with Young Link. Young Link is cool. I haven't looked you in the eye the whole time, and now it's weird too.
Oh yeah, being directly across from each other. Yeah.
I haven't had to do this. I'm gonna get used to it right now.
I've been setting this up in front of him for like an hour, so now we actually have to have a proper. That's the one unnatural thing about this, I think.
This is like became immediately intimate. Like I'm looking you in your eye now.
Yeah.
You got nice eyes.
Thank you. You do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a handsome.
Oh, you got some grays in your beard? I didn't notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tight.
I'm not noticing anything I didn't notice before, but you're a handsome guy. And
what you see is what you get.
I clocked it right away.
Yeah. Thank you.
You fuck people up with Young Link?
Yeah. I don't know why, because before that it was Roy.
Yeah.
Like when I was playing Melee.
Yeah, those
Roy
are like the
was
Melee
my
guys.
Shit. Yeah. That was my shit, but I didn't know who to go with for Ultimate because I kind of skipped everything. I had Brawl, but
yeah,
like I was a kid, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
But once I got back to like Smash, when I got Ultimate,
yeah,
I kind of shopped around. Like once I unlocked all the characters, I was like, who can I rely on to not lose every fucking time?
Yeah.
And Young Link was just the most consistent of the bunch. And I didn't want to use like Kirby or someone because I'm not a fucking tryhard. So, yeah.
Do you play online at all?
Nah, I don't have like the online service.
Shit, yeah.
So no, I never got to play anyone online. But I know I'd get my ass whooped, so I'm kind of ducking the fate.
Smash Bros has been like my favorite game for so long, you know? And like when Ultimate came out, I just wasn't playing it a ton because I didn't, have too many friends to go play it with. So I was just fighting against like level 9 CPUs.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm training against. I've moved up to like 2 level 9s against me.
Yeah,
and like I'm trying to get to the point where I like consistently fuck them up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I can't really like beat them yet.
Yeah,
but I'm getting close.
Will you fight like another Link so then you can like learn his style?
I try not to do that. It feels weird.
That's how I like wanted to learn. I'm like, what does the computer think the best option is?
Yeah.
And I'll just copy what this guy's doing.
If I can't beat someone, I'll keep putting them like, no, I got it. It was specifically I was trying to be Wario.
Yeah.
On fucking the duck hunt stage.
Yeah.
Because specifically for that stage, for some reason, I just could not beat him. And I was like, no, I'm not leaving this fight until I win. And I kept doing it, and that trained me for like a month. And then I was like beating him consistently. I was like, now I feel good about this.
People do dirty stuff as Wario. Wario is like a really good character.
he doesn't look like he should be that good, though. That's what pisses me off about him. When he first got introduced in Brawl, I was like, he's probably just going to be like Mario with
And they can drive a whole motorcycle.
Drive a motorcycle and fart on you and all this shit.
So disrespectful to just do the fart. I main Dr. Mario. And
okay.
My best Smash friend, who's like he's so good.
Yeah.
He just also happened to play Dr. Mario, so he just he moved in during COVID, so he just Mr. Miyagi'd me as Dr. Mario for like a full year. And now I'm good, but the double-edged sword of that is like people don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's such a casual game.
Man. And especially Dr. Mario too. He's I don't know what it is about him, but he has way more of an edge than regular Mario. Like he's kind of
mad.
Like mean. Like I don't get it. But I would be playing with like my friends and shit, and like that would kind of tell me where I was at. But then they started getting as good as me, and then better than me, and I was like, I'm good off of this. I don't want to play with anyone. We'll keep losing.
Yeah, I heard you bring up Smash on the album, and I was like, all right, I'll have to ask him about that.
You have to remind me what I don't know.
I don't know, one of the songs you say playing Smash Bros, who do you main? Like it's just one of the lines.
Yeah. Super Smash Bros, who do you main? I don't remember what song it is right now off the top of my head. But yes, that is my shit right there.
Yeah.
And I also said in the freestyle, I say wrap it up, smash no melee, something. I don't remember what yet.
Yeah.
I be writing a lot of stuff, so I kind of just forget.
I remember QWERTY had a line like, when it comes to melee, I'm Pele, or like something like that. And I just love hearing like my childhood references.
He's really
into
Splatoon though too.
QWERTY is a Splatoon head, big time.
I recently put the things together in my head. I was like, oh, what Smashes to me is what Splatoon is to him. Because every time you see me post like my Switch or something, you're like, you got Splatoon? You need to get on Splatoon, nigga. You need to hop on that. And I was like, God, this guy really likes Splatoon.
He's like the #1 Splatoon advocate.
I don't even know what that game is or what it's about or like.
So I bought it because of him. I got Splatoon 2 and I have barely.
He almost got me to buy that shit. I was almost thinking about it like, damn, maybe I do need to get on Splatoon.
He's watching this right now, just like greasing his hands.
Pushing his Splatoon agenda.
You're like, it's kind of capture or King of the Hill type shit, where it's like it's a stage and you're on a team and you're trying to cover the majority of it in ink, and then the other team is trying to do the same thing at the same time.
Okay.
And then chaos ensues. The tutorial phase teaches you all the ways to do the ink, and I immediately was like, this is too
much.
Way over my head.
Way more nuanced than I thought it'd be.
I would like to get into it, but it's like a whole community.
It's like that in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I grew up with
almost
that.
wanted to like get into that, but I just couldn't buy it at the time when it was like super like people were playing it again after it got that new wave. But like I want to play that one still kind of, because it kind of reminds me of I don't know if barely anyone has ever brought this up. Do you remember like PlayStation Home? Like they had like the avatars and you can walk around and like.
So I grew up with like only Nintendo, and I had a PS1 for Spyro games.
Yeah.
So like everything else.
I wasn't like PlayStation either. I only had I had a PlayStation 2, but that was the only thing I ever got. Yeah. Everything else I got the Xbox. But when I would go to my cousin's house, they had all the PlayStation stuff.
Yeah.
And they would be playing this shit, and it was like it's damn near like Club Penguin.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like a whole avatar. You could walk around and stuff and just like fuck around with shit. It had its own currency and shit.
Yeah.
That's what Animal Crossing reminds me of.
I grew up with Animal Crossing on DS because some kid brought it to a sleepover and it seemed really fun. And I went to GameStop to get it. And I remember the cashier was like, is he sure he wants this game? And I was like, like what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on?
She goes to my mom. She's like, usually girls play this. And I was like, why are you roasting me? I just want to live in a little animal town.
Yeah.
Sell my wares.
And now look at it. Now everyone is playing it.
Yeah. It's the most successful Switch launch, I think, or something like that.
Over Smash?
Yeah. Well, now, okay, recently Pokemon Scarlet and Violet apparently is the best premiere of any Nintendo game ever made, which actually surprises me. But
it surprises me. I thought Pokemon was like kind of dying, but somehow when I thought it was dying, it was going up to the highest it's ever been at the same time.
It's the most successful franchise of all time.
Yeah.
Like above Marvel and Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like literally it's Pokemon and then apparently like Hello Kitty Sanrio or something like that, which I don't even understand how that's possible.
Man, wow, I am out of touch because I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, the
that's
Sanrio
crazy.
shit, I don't know how that is a thing, but
I can
Pokemon
get
is
it.
like...
It's aesthetic, but I didn't know Pokemon was like that. Wow.
Well, it's like when they have over 1,000 characters to sell toys of, like that's just so much money
Not
coming
even
in.
Sonic?
Sonic is probably like in 20 or something like that.
Because that was my shit. If I wasn't playing Smash, I was playing Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, Sonic Heroes.
That was my shit.
My grandparents had an Xbox for us to play on when we came over, which was like such a cool move on their part. they had because they had more money than my parents.
Yeah.
You know, so like they got an Xbox.
Yeah, we going over there. They got the Xbox.
Yeah, we would play Sonic Heroes with that just like the rock music in the background.
Yeah.
And
That was a staple thing for me. And then when I see it get like, sometimes it catches little resurgences.
yeah.
Mostly because they like to like voice over the
Yeah.
game, and that shit's hilarious to me.
To elevate alternative sexual archetypes in the marketplace. Fastest hedgehog. Shadow, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a beta male, Sonic.
But whenever I see somebody post about it, I'm like, yes, push the agenda. That shit was so good.
I love that whole subgenre of people voicing over the Sonic animatics.
That's my favorite.
It's so good.
I'll be dying. There's one where he's in jail. He's like, yeah, I was in here for grand larceny, homicide, this and that. And then Amy's like, oh, that's so bad that they framed all that on you. He's like, framed? I was like, that shit's hilarious.
Yeah.
Sonic's my shit.
I love all the ones when Shadow is just fucking with Sonic and Sonic's
Yeah.
like, Shadow, what the fuck?
Yeah. On the Shadow the Hedgehog game, too, which is also a very dark game.
Where he has like a gun. They
How
would never
could-
give Bowser a
Yeah.
Uzi.
Yeah, no, they would never do that. That's what was the best part of that game, because that was the first time I ever seen Sonic or that whole universe in that
Yeah.
light. And I was like, oh, Shadow go hard. This is crazy. But the funniest part about that game is the death voiceovers.
Yeah.
Shadow would be like, damn. That shit is the most hilarious shit ever to me. He would be, if you fall off a cliff, he'd be like, Maria! I'm like, nigga.
Like he's like Tony
Yeah,
Soprano
like
or
he's so
something.
fucking distraught. It's so funny.
It's so funny. I saw this tweet once that said something like Sonic belongs in either the woods or rural modern day Chicago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
His two aesthetics.
Yeah. No, video games, period. Like, that was a big part of my life when I was in Long Beach, because that was kind of how I didn't know it at the time, but that was kind of how I was like staying inside, so I didn't have to like deal with the shit that was going on outside.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was like super crazy shit. Well, to the average person, it's crazy, but like it wasn't like Chicago, Southside Chicago, where you can walk out and get shot in the face. But it was like a lot. It was too much shit going on for me, and then I had like beefs and shit sometimes. So I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with none of that. I just play the game.
Yeah.
And like PlayStation 2 and like Madden, Street Volume 2, that was a big one.
You play Spider-Man?
Yeah, of course.
The
Yeah.
Spider-Man games are so good.
Easy. That was so good. I think I even played the PlayStation 1 and in Vegas when I was living with my mom, but I was like 5 or something, so I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Halo. We would go to there was a recreation center across the street from me, and it was a police. I don't know if they still do it. It's called Police Athletic League.
Yeah.
Pal, that was like the spot, like for kids. Like everybody would go there, and like it was like a YMCA, but really they didn't make you do stuff. Like you just go there, you just eat snacks and like play basketball and fucking play video games. We would have like Halo tournaments.
Oh, that's sweet.
And it was like 30. Just imagine 30 black kids
Yeah.
playing fucking Halo, and they're all like, oh, this nigga, look, he's screen hopping, look at him. And real fights are being had over this, real bets are being made with real money.
Yeah.
We're using cheeseburgers as currency. Like, yeah, if you lose, you got to buy me 3 cookies and a fucking double cheeseburger, because McDonald's is right there.
Yeah.
And so that was like a huge part of my life, was playing games. Cause
Probably taking those games so serious too, because you don't want to be in debt to 6 burgers.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And then you come back the next day and you ain't gave the person that you like, where's my shit at, man? I beat you fair and square. And you're like,
That's funny.
fucking Kingdom Hearts was like a big thing for me too.
Oh yeah.
My cousins were like the anime. They were into the anime and all that shit. That's where I got all of that shit from, because I would go to their house. And every time I went over there, they would have some new shit that I didn't know about. Like, I found out about Need for Speed Double Edition through them and shit. And, like, they would have Kingdom Hearts 1. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is Mickey in here with this white kid? And what is all this?
Yeah.
And they would just explain, like, oh, yeah, this is from Japan. This is from that. This is from that. And actually, one of my cousins is, like, a super gamer. He's not, like, a known gamer or anything, but, like,
He knows what he's doing.
He's one of those dudes that can speed run Sonic.
Yeah.
And like he memorizes everything. He'll speed run through games and just like know how to do everything, be good at every game.
Yeah.
And for a small part of my life, I wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a interesting time.
It's fun. I feel like as like a young boy, like going to a birthday party sleepover and you're playing Melee, like you just want to like beat everybody, you know, when it's like
exactly.
4-player
When you,
Smash.
You feel like a god.
Yeah.
You're going there and you just like, oh, I want everybody who won it.
It's like it's like winning in a fight without having to actually
Yeah.
fight someone, you know. You're like, you know,
Exactly.
I hit you with that boomerang back
Until
there.
they do take it there because you're the
Yeah,
youngest
right.
and then you get beat up and stuff. Yeah.
I feel like that feeling carried with me into being an adult. You
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
then my friend trained me and I got all good.
Yeah.
And now like I have nothing to do with the skill because
Yeah.
now like, oh, now people just don't want to play games anymore.
Yeah.
That's why Mario Kart is good, because that's like such a quality game, because everybody likes it. It's straightforward, and because of just like the items, like it, you know,
It levels it out.
It'll humble someone really quick.
If you get in first place, it's easy to just lose like immediately as soon as you got to first place.
The funny thing about the Mario franchise is like as a kid, you know, I would play the main games and then you would get the sports ones and kart and party. And like as a kid, you just accept that. It's like, yeah, this makes sense. As an adult, I'm like, why did we have Mario driving cars and playing tennis? Like they took this guy and
they made him
everything. And it works.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like party, that was the most. They were like, yo, we need to stop nickel and diming this shit, man. Put Mario in there with everybody.
Play Monopoly.
Make it a variety fucking game. You play fucking basketball, chess. I don't give a damn. Tennis. Make them play everything in that. By the end of the game, I promise you they'll be fulfilled.
I'd love to see them like further innovate and just start coming up with new Mario shit.
Yeah.
Because with Switch, they just recently put out a new soccer game. They did tennis a few years ago, and now they just announced baseball. They should find like a new Mario sport. Like I remember they tried basketball on DS and it kind of sucked, so they just stopped. But
I played it too. That was like, it was really clunky.
It was the only game in my life where I sold it back to GameStop. Mario 3-on-3 was not a good game.
Yeah, I didn't really play it that much.
Yeah.
What we really were on was the, I don't remember which part. I think it was just Super Mario when you get it was the one when they first introduced the yellow mushroom. Where you get big.
Oh, New Super Mario Bros. For DS.
We would do the joint game thing.
Yeah.
On the DS, and we'd be like playing that shit all day outside.
The DS had that download play feature where if one guy owned Mario Kart, everybody in the room could play with him. You know about that?
Wish we would have fucking known about that at the time. Wow.
So like
we were all buying the games.
Well, I mean, once you go home, you can't play it anymore. But the multiplayer,
we only played with each other.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
So when you open the DS, you know how it's like DS game, Picto Chat, and then like Game Boy game.
Mm-hmm.
There was like another thing called download play, and basically the one guy like opens Mario Kart, everybody else hits download play, and then your DS just links to his game.
That's crazy.
And what was crazy is the people linking in, it would make them play as Shy Guy, who wasn't even a playable character in that game. So it actually had like an exclusive like character for download play.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I think that's why in Smash when you go to that map, it's like all Shy Guys like driving by.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cute little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Fucking, there was that, and I think I wanted to play Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Because that was when everybody like hopped on the open world thing, and like I still hadn't like interacted with that shit yet. So
Breath of the Wild is like the best game ever made.
I have it, but I haven't played it yet.
I think it's maybe the best game like ever made. It's like I haven't played every game obviously.
Yeah.
But like it's so incredible.
I kind of blame my mom. I had a chance to get introduced, which is ironic because my main is Young Link.
Yeah.
I wanted to play Zelda. It was the Mask one. Majora's Mask.
Oh, Majora's Mask?
Yeah, Majora's Mask. And somebody had it. I don't know where we were living. We were living with somebody, and they had the fucking game. And I wanted to play it really bad.
Yeah.
But, like, he wouldn't let me. And then when he was gone, I would ask my mom, and she was like, nah, you can't play it. And then she seen it, and she was like, nah, this shit's too scary. You can't play that shit.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I never got to have that experience with Zelda. And so now I'm like, when I seen Breath of the Wild, I was like, damn, this makes me kind of want to go back and play all of them. Yeah.
Breath of the Wild is actually the first Zelda game I've played. Like I found out about Link through Smash Bros. Like I didn't know who he was, and I feel like as a kid, I mostly played Mario and Pokemon, which are kind of straightforward games where you had the problem solve, like in Zelda, and you have to talk to the characters and actually read what they say.
What
My friend makes fun of me. I don't read the dialogue, because in like Mario and Pokemon, you don't have to read that at all.
Yeah, no, at all.
But in like Zelda, you actually got to pay attention, and so I just never really did those. But Breath of the Wild, like it just turned 6 years old, and the sequel comes out in May.
That was that long ago?
2017.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's when the Switch came out.
Damn.
I know, time has been going by so fast.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I kind of made a point to not Google like what to do in the game too much, you know? So like all these years later, I can still pick it up and find like new stuff because the world in it is so big
huge.
and it's just so pretty. Like you can just run around and like have a good time.
Have you ever played Jack and Daxter?
No, I've heard of that though.
Bro, if you like Breath of the Wild, I'm assuming if it's anything like I've heard it is and what I've seen so far, Jack and Daxter was like the shit. Like, I don't know about 1 and 2, which is crazy because those two are already good. But no, 2 was good too. 2 and 3, those two. That shit, there's so much to do in it, and like just going around beating shit up as like you collect these like orbs, and so you have like a mode change. Yeah. So it's like how Sora has the Valor mode. Mm-hmm. He has like the similar shit. That shit is like, me and my friend used to play that shit like every single day. And the story mode is long as hell. So you got like, even when you finish, there's still shit to do, like how it is on Grand Theft Auto if you didn't do certain things.
I've never played Grand Theft Auto.
I never really either.
Yeah.
My dad didn't let me play it.
Yeah. It was like, it's so funny, like people who did grow up with that game talk about having to like basically trick their parent into buying it.
My dad knew what it was right from the jump, and since he is actually from the streets, he was like, nah, we can't have you. I don't want you to get anything in your mind. And he almost didn't let me play Call of Duty in Halo, because he was like, I don't want you to even think about anything that I ever actually had to do.
Right.
So I just never got to get that experience. But I would just go behind his back, play it at my friend's house.
Halo is like so cartoony in a way, or like, it's like fantasy.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is kind of insane.
Straight up, you shoot a guy in the face.
But also it's based on like actual atrocities that have happened, like Call of Duty World War II. Like that's insane.
Hey, exactly.
That, that makes it very plausible.
You're
that,
killing Nazi zombies.
Call of Duty Ukraine.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Oh, that's fine.
You're going to get demonetized.
For saying Nazi?
Yeah.
That's whatever.
Yeah.
These make me like 20 cents.
Oh, yeah. See,
you know with that YouTube ad. You got to get like 1 million views to like actually make money from YouTube, unfortunately.
That's what I just found out, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so your music video for Uncultured, that has like 100,000 views or something like that?
They 150 now?
Yeah.
160? One of those two.
Yeah, it's a great video. Congrats on the success on it. You you don't have to say, but yeah, it's unfortunate that that doesn't make a ton of money, right?
Yeah.
Even though you're like,
the craziest part is I wasn't monetized yet when I dropped it. So
Yeah.
when it came out, it got monetized like when it already hit like 100K.
yeah.
So I was like, shit.
Oh, right. Because
That
you,
would have helped out if I would have if it was out.
because you don't
and then
get
it was
back pay
monetized. No.
on, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get none of that. I only got like the last, whatever it is at now, 50,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you're just like, all right, hope that happens again.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than no money, obviously.
No,
but,
absolutely. Yeah.
like, yeah, that was something I thought about. But yeah, the videos, I get why people like it, and like, I'm glad people like it and stuff. I always wanted to, like make something like that in the sense that like it was like a homage to people, but I wanted it to be like way later when it was like I was already like established,
yeah.
and then like people were like, "Oh, that's cool that he did the thing," and then I was able to flesh it out better.
Yeah.
But I mean, the shit, it worked. So how mad can I be?
Yeah,
You know
totally.
What I'm saying? And I'm also not like 100% like cool that I had to like put on this guy's face and that guy's face for people to be like, "Oh, wow, like you're cool."
Yeah.
I was actually expecting more like backlash from it. I thought niggas was gonna be like, "Yo, why are you copying niggas? That's so crazy."
Right.
And like just shit on it. I thought I was gonna get like hate blow up or something, but like people liked it and like they thought they seen it for what it was. Like it was like kind of like not, I don't know, but I just like.
No, I
that
get
people
what
liked
you're
it.
saying.
Yeah.
That's actually a lot of kind of what I wanted to talk to you about, just philosophically as an artist, because like, you know, I think people get backlash when you copy, but you're not being transparent about it. You're trying to pass it off at like you're not
Yeah,
doing
as
it.
if it's not that.
Yours was, you know, blatantly like, this is the
Yeah.
shot from this is the shot from this.
Exactly.
But when I listen to your lyrics, like I know it's very important to you to be original and be creative and feel like you should actually be able to have a life off of that, which
Yeah.
I very much so align with, you
Yeah.
know? And so it... I almost took the song and the video as like almost like a backhanded thing where you're
Yeah.
like, fine, here you
That's
fucking
exactly-
go.
that's
I'll give
exactly
you what
what
you
it
guys
is.
fucking want, and you're gonna give me the views and call me
Yes.
smart for doing it, and this is
He's-
what I had to do to get here. And like,
Exactly.
that's how I took it.
exactly what, you know how like, especially like when I was like, because earlier last year I had put out the Donda 2 projects and I put out the Bully project.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was me even, I was already like, I don't want to do this shit. Like, I really do not want, I already hear niggas being like, oh, this is that. I'm going to lean all the way into it and like
Yeah.
put out a whole project that's like, oh, but these people's names are attached. Look, this is what y'all like, right?
yeah,
I felt terrible putting that shit out. I didn't almost put any of this shit out, but I was like, I need to get this shit moving because I don't got much time left on this planet for all I know. So like,
sure.
I want to get shit going for me. And so I did it and then I felt bad. But then once like I thought about it a lot more after the year had passed, I was like, you know, really everyone had to do some form of that at the beginning, like in
Yeah.
compromise. And like, I'm not exempt from that just because I know that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not exempt from like putting in like the grunt work. So I was like, all right, well, okay, if I got to do something and I got to be like, I got to do something I don't like,
Yeah,
I'm going to do something that at least is like, shows my talent, shows my creativity. And, you know, at the end of it, I was just like, all right, well, if people say it's like this and they like it, or if they say that like, oh, you're copying this guy. Okay. You're kind of like bringing down that guy, because if I'm able to make something that even remotely sounds or looks like this guy,
Yeah.
and this man has money
yeah,
and he has all this shit and I don't, that kind of says a lot to me personally that like I'm able to create on that level. So I was like, all right, well, okay, this is giving what they want. Fuck it. If this is what they want to see and this is what'll get my name out there or whatever,
Totally.
I'll do it.
yeah,
And it just was funny to me too, because like a lot of people will be like, oh, like why are you doing all this? Why are you doing this? And I'm like, because I just dropped Gnarly, which was like completely original, like completely my brain no outside forces, just sheer, okay, I want to do this thing. And I put it out, and then I go as hard as I did for it, and then it didn't really do anything. But then I do it this way, and then boom, here we are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I kind of proved to myself, now I feel better.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense now.
I want to stay on this topic. Can you give me a sec just to check
Yeah,
the
do your
cameras and
thing.
shit? I'm like so paranoid.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This little kid was just like creeping behind
Yeah.
me for a second. I'll just
I
like,
need to do that more.
oh, like double check in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle of the thing, I'll be too so into shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, I'm being paranoid. Just shut up, do it.
I had that thought in the back of my head the whole first leg that we just did, and I was like, I need to find a point. And then you started talking about like what I felt will be like maybe the best shit. And I'm like, okay, now I really
I
got
gotta make sure this is getting caught, because if it isn't, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. So I was subscribed to you like a number of years ago, and then so when you started making some of your recent stuff, it was just popping up on my YouTube, and it caught my attention pretty immediately with like the Firecracker music video. I was telling you earlier, like that, it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
And then did you direct that or co-direct that?
No, I directed it with co-director it that one, with my girl.
Yeah, so I must have seen that in the credits, and I was like, this is so original, and the fact that like the guy is doing it himself, you know, because I unfortunately think a lot of musicians want very bland music videos, you know, they just want the flexing and the performing and all that, you know, so.
More power to them. Nothing wrong with that. If that's
it's just
like,
boring,
what
though.
you want to do, like if that's what you want to do, I personally find it boring. You got a big ass ant on your laptop.
Oh, that's fine. He can.
It's a fire ant.
I mean, that's okay.
All right.
Should I get rid of him?
It's your funeral.
Is he gonna kill me?
Yeah, probably.
Fire ants are that poisonous?
Yeah, man. They're gonna punch you in your sleep.
I'm not that afraid of ants. All right, he's gone.
All right.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah. What was the question?
We were talking about the Firecracker music video and just it being super original.
People like, if they want to do that, that's cool. Like, I personally find it boring, but like, after like, I've done that before because I didn't direct them.
Sure.
I had the Pink video and the Freedom video, and I did like videos before that, like with my friends and shit, like in high school. But I wasn't really thinking about it too much. I just knew I needed a video for a song, so I'd just go shoot it.
And that's fine. Like they serve a purpose, especially when you're first getting started. But you know, to see you like as the artist, like also doing the videos, that just super caught my attention. So like this whole recent rollout, like a year or two later, has been really cool to see. And so when I was just kind of doing some research on what you've been up to, like I saw the Gnarly project. I missed it when it came out. Yeah. And you know, you had like elaborate like costuming, and I saw like, did you do like a billboard for it even? And
yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, like how is that for you, like putting in all that effort on that one, but then now this one, like you said, you're kind of appealing to the internet, and now that's what's working.
Not only that, if it felt like, I think I said it somewhere before. I'm pretty sure I said it publicly before because I was really trying to find a way to fit it in somewhere.
Yeah.
It felt like Iron Man when he was putting the Iron Man suit together with the scraps.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
That's how like the last 2 years it felt, was putting together shit with scraps. Like, all right, well, fuck, I got to get this shit going. So you put this here, you put that there, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's, the last one was crazy because, and just in general, like for music videos too, like, I just wanted something. I don't like performance-based videos. That's all it is. Like, I like videos that kind of like don't have, the less performance, the better for me.
I as a director, I feel the same way.
Yeah, like I want to like kind of make films in that regard because niggas be like, I want to make films all the time. But like, I really want to like make it like that. Yeah. Because that's kind of what I like. But I just haven't had the resources to do that. So what I've been making is what I just can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And
what were some videos you were like inspired by to get to that point? Like, had you seen other stuff also doing that, or no?
So it came from a disdain, like looking at shit. Like even my favorite artist, Tyler, has videos, but like a lot of his stuff is like performance based, and I liked it better when it was more like the fucking Young video, like when it was like that and he was barely doing any of the performance stuff, I was like, that shit's cool to me. Like, I want to make more stuff like that and like incorporate dance and shit like that.
Yeah.
And make it entertaining to watch. That's all I was going for with Gnarly's videos with Firecracker. I was just like, all right, I don't want to do any performance stuff. I want it to all be a story, even if it looks shitty or whatever. I just want it to be something you watch and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just came from me looking at other shit and just being like, I wish they would just do it like this. Though. Like, when I do mines, I want like this, but like none of that.
Yeah. My like I grew up watching like Arctic Monkeys and like White Stripes music videos, and they were so conceptual. Like Michel Gondry was like such a good director, and Spike Jonze, who were just doing crazy music videos, you know, and they were just so like conceptual, but before like consumer visual effects were a thing. So instead of doing like After Effects, it was like there's this White Stripes video called Hardest Button to Button, and every note they hit, they like the amps like duplicate. Yeah. So they probably had to buy like 80 amps for this video, you know, which obviously we can't afford. But
of course,
it was really creative. And so like Arctic Monkeys, Fluorescent Adolescent, which is basically like a pop song. The music video is clowns beating the shit out of each other in a park, which is like not what you know, like you would pitch normally. And so I just love stuff like that because it really sticks with you. You know, I feel like I can describe it to you easily. Like it's the video where this happens. When all these other videos are so similar to each other, like, oh, it's the guy doing the song in front of the money. It's like, how do you even tell someone about it and get them, you know?
Oh, that's literally what I was going, like, whenever I be making stuff in my head, I'm like, all right, what is the one sentence people will say, like, oh, it's when he did the cat hat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's when he did the fucking iron, the armor, whatever. Yeah. Like, if I wanted to be like able to, a lot of music videos, you'd be like, oh, it's the one when he's rapping. You're like,
right.
Which one? Like,
yeah. My favorite part in that video is when you're staring at the camera and you do the snap.
That was right there.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah. You had like so much like character, you know, like in just your movement, and like you were very like a cartoon, you know.
That's exactly what. Yes.
Just, you know, like the whole like flourish of the movement, and everything. And I was watching him. I was like, he's being very intentional with all of this. So I just really appreciated all of that.
That was the word for that one. Cartoon. I wanted to be in my face, like my facial expressions and everything, cartoonish. Yeah. Like all the. If you notice, there's little. Like when it zooms in on my girl, it's like with the little like white lines and shit. Like it's
like the speed lines. Yeah.
So like that was kind of like the driving force behind that one. And then like Bubblegum, that just came from like we wanted to at first. So here's the thing, Firecracker at first was gonna be like inspired by like Charlie's Angels type shit.
Okay.
And we were gonna be in like we were gonna be like spies, and like in the tracks, the leather suits, the body suits or whatever, like fighting and shit inside of like inside a house, like an old school house, 70s disco house.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be that, and then like people were gonna keep coming in, and we were gonna act like we were good, and then they were gonna go back and we'll go back fighting. But then like she just said like, I don't fucking know, we just wear cat in the hat suits and fight each other. I don't know. And then she thought I wasn't gonna listen and like do it. I was like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Of course. And then she was like, I was just joking. I didn't really know. No, we're doing it now. That's what's happening. And I figured it out and I did it. Bubblegum was like, I think we both were really feeling dance at the time. I don't know what it was. When we first moved into our apartment, we were just like super like into K-Tronada and shit at the time. And like, we were in like 70s disco shit. And we was like, damn, we want to, I remember we played the song when it was done, because she helped like executive produce that one, because I was like, I want you to tell me how to like write this one and like how to produce it.
Yeah.
And once we finished the song, I had like this disco ball, and I turned it on, and then I turned off all the lights, and I turned on like all these LED lights I had, and then we played it, and then we just were like dancing like we were in our own nightclub all around the house and shit. And he was like, wow, this shit is so fucking good. Wow, we really made one. That's crazy. Yo, we need to do a disco video. And that was what it was. And it was supposed to be longer, and it was supposed to have a story behind it and shit. And like, God damn, I'm sorry.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm dying.
A little water break. I should have a little song for water break.
Here, I'll give you some B-roll for it. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure whatever I did turned out great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a whole story and stuff, but like it ended up being what it being because I planned it so poorly, and I thought we can film everything in one night at the location we rented,
Yeah.
and it just didn't happen that way because we ran out of time, and a lot of the people I invited to play different parts just didn't show up, and I was like, well, fuck. And the guy that filmed it, he edited it and made like a reel for it, and he was like, hey, what do you think of that? And I was like, oh, that'll work. I don't have to edit. Cool. Tight. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like on your videos you have like a lot of friends helping you and stuff too, right? Or no?
So right now, no. Last album, it only worked out that way because I had came up in the pandemic, and I had some money to be able to like get my friends out here from Vegas to help me and shit, and like
Gotcha.
I was able to pay people, but I couldn't like do it anymore. So that's why I was like, all right, now I got to figure this shit out on my own. Just like the apocalypse coming or
Is
something.
that rain?
Yeah,
I guess it's rain. All
Yeah.
right. Well, the audio has rain now, but that's all right.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to pay people, so I was able to get more people in at that time.
Yeah. Is it only raining where we are? Because there's visually none.
Yeah, I
but
don't
then
see
you hear
anything
it
else,
here.
but I hear it here.
It's like there's just a cartoon cloud above us.
That's usually how should be working out for me. So yeah.
So are you from Vegas?
So I was born in Vegas, and I lived in Long Beach I was born in Vegas. I think I stayed there till I was 5, but I was going back and forth at the time. But by the time I was like 5 or 6, my mom, she handed me off to my dad, and I lived in North Long Beach till I was like 15. And then I went back to Vegas, finished high school there, and then by the time college came, I left there and went to Denver. And then I had to go back to Vegas. This whole
Yeah, just being thrown around a lot.
yeah.
How is Vegas as a place to live? Like that seems like
I know
a
what you
weird...
mean.
Yeah.
Yo, when I first went out there, my first thought when I was 15, my first thought was like, wait, niggas really live here? Wow, that's crazy. Wait, I didn't even put that together. There's houses here. It's not just casinos and shit.
Yeah.
My grandparents lived here. What? I didn't realize that.
The
Yeah.
strippers don't live in the club.
Yeah, exactly. They're all over the place. But yeah, that was I still don't know if my time there damaged me or made me better.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe both.
because when I was there, it was like, yeah, exactly, maybe both, yeah. Because when I was there, it was like, I met people, I got cool with people, I went through a lot of shit there, but like I left, and I don't really know how to feel about that time anymore, because in my head, it was like nostalgia, so I'm thinking like, oh, it was good there.
Right.
But now that I had the time to really think about it, I was like, wait, was that good for me, or was that bad for me? I mean, I went through some traumatic shit there,
Yeah.
so.
It's hard. I mean, all you can really do is like, ideally like therapy, emotionally process what you've been through. But then at the end of the day, like you just kind of have to keep pushing forward, So
yeah,
it's
I
like,
don't think about it too much. What happened, and I can't do anything about it.
yeah.
That was where, I don't know if you've seen it, that there's a video I had put out like 2 years ago, I think. I was talking about like, I was running with a shotgun.
I don't think I saw it.
So,
I wish I did more research.
yeah. So, my mom, she also has bipolar disorder. We were just talking about Kanye earlier.
Yeah.
That's why I see it the way I see it. I don't really like complete, because they really, now I know firsthand that they really cannot control that shit at all.
Yeah.
My mom, she had like shit going on with her where like she would literally like hallucinate and see shit if she didn't take her medicine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then when she got mad and she got moody, it would be bad. I've recently just remembered why the chain of events started. So you get to know exactly how it started with this too.
Yeah.
So my mom, are you familiar with PCH, sweepstakes?
No.
So there's this shit called PCH sweepstakes. It's public clearinghousing. They were giving away like millions of dollars to people, random people that come with the big ass check. If you ever seen the shows when they come in to check and they're like, you won $10,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, God damn, I'll probably just fucked your whole audio up with that.
That's okay.
We're getting too excited. So she got an email that looked like it was from these people. Long story short, wasn't. She sent them money, our rent money, and was like, damn, I'm pissed. So I'm knowing all this is happening, and she's thinking she's about to be rich, but the whole time I'm telling her, like, I don't know. This shit don't look real. I'm trying to tell you.
You shouldn't have to pay the people who are offering you $1 million.
She didn't want to hear it, though. She was just like, nah, we need this, though. I went to school. I came back home. She had the shotgun laying on her lap, pissed, like, ooh, I want to kill somebody, like,
Yeah.
not feeling that shit. And she basically was like, I need you to talk to me. I need you to calm me down. I was like, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
And so I talked her down. She was just mad. At least I thought. And then I told her, like, yeah, I have like a talent show the next day. And she's like, oh, I want to go. And I was like, probably not the best idea. I don't want you to. No, I'm going. No, fuck that shit. I'm going. And sure enough, she came. She was yelling at the people, all the kids performing before me, saying like, "Yeah, bitch, you suck." I was like, "Yo, relax, lady."
How old were you?
17, I think.
Okay.
17 or 18. No, I was 17. I turned 18 in college. So, yeah, she's yelling at the kids and shit. And afterwards, we go home, and she's still like pissed about the money or whatever. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to do about this. I just want to go upstairs. I want to make some music. I don't want to think about this right now. And kind of been on this for a minute. And she's like, nah, I want you to stay down here and hang out with me and all this shit. At the time, if I was now, I would understand how much she would have like needed someone just to like hang out with her. But at the time, I was just so focused on like making stuff so I can get out of there, because I wanted to like get to a place where I can be able to move out on my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, long story short, we ended up in like a argument, and then she went to go grab like the shotgun from another room. So I beat her there before she even took a step in there. I was already like right on her, and then I got past her and got it. But I didn't know what she was gonna do, because she was really unpredictable, and she was unstable where she was in her mind. And she's always told me like, yo, you're too big. If we get into a dispute, I'm probably going to shoot you, because I cannot beat you up, and your dad's not here to like, discipline you. So I was like, I'm not going to get Marvin Gaye, Marvin Gaye's dad killed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so grabbed the shotgun, didn't know what to do. I was just adrenaline pumped, because I was like, damn, I don't know what the fuck I'm about to do. I got a weapon. Oh, shit. So I ran downstairs, went outside. I'm running with the shotgun in my hand. It's like 9 at night or some shit.
Yeah.
So like people are walking and shit, and I'm like, help me, my mom is chasing me. And they're like, nigga, you got a shotgun. I'm not helping you with shit. I'm gonna run the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Looking back, I probably shouldn't have left the house, or I should have at least hit the gun somewhere or something. I don't fucking know. Anything but I ran to the gas station across the street. And basically I juked her out in the gas station for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'm trying to get the attention of the people inside to help me, but obviously they see a shotgun in my hand, and I'm black. They're like, nah, I don't know what's going on, but I don't want nothing a part of that. So they locked the door on me and everything. And so I guess we made enough commotion to get everyone out of the parking lot, and people started calling the police and shit. And I'm juking her out the whole time. And it's kind of funny, though, because she's, like, obviously never going to catch me, but she was, like, trying really hard. I'm like, and this is me at my prime, too, so she was never going to catch me. And so I'm breaking her ankles, and then the cops come, and I shit you not, like, 15 cars. We were at this 4-way stop section. The gas station is on one corner, and then it's just 4 streets. They covered every single street, and they all had their guns pointed at me and her. It was like fucking 20 cops or some shit. They all like, put the gun down right now. And I'm like, shit. And my mom's standing next to me, and she's still trying to go after me. And I'm like, she's chasing me. I don't know what to do. She's like, stop moving and put the gun down. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get shot. But she kept acting like as soon as I was going to put it down, she was going to go for it. And I didn't know what she was going to do. So I tried to get a little closer to the police so that if that did happen, they can clearly see what the fuck happened, because it was dark where we were.
Yeah.
So I put the gun down. I put my phones down. She immediately goes over there and like she stomps on my phones and like breaks the screens. And I was like, why would she do that? That didn't have anything to do with this. And then now we're both like this, went on the floor and shit.
Yeah.
They detained me,
Yeah.
put me in the back of the cop car. And
Here, want to wait for this plane to
Yeah.
go by? Yeah. Sorry.
plane break.
At the climax of the
I'll get you a B-roll.
JJ the Jet, just fucking.
JJ the Jet. So yeah, they put me in the back of the car. They still got her at gunpoint in front of everything, and she's resisting. And I'm like sitting there, and then it dawned in my brain. I'm like, damn, am I about to watch my mom get smoked by 20 officers in front of, like, right here just today? This is the day. And she was like yelling back at him and shit. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I started crying because I was like, what the fuck is going to happen? And eventually she complies. They take her, and then they ask me, like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, this is what happened. And they're like, oh, this is dumb. Like, why is this happening? And so then they go to her, and they're like asking her questions, and they came back to me like, hey, does she have like a mental illness or something? And I'm like, yeah, she has this and that. And then they were like, oh, well, you know, that's actually illegal to own a firearm with a mental illness. And it wasn't like a thing yet, though. Like, that wasn't a law yet, but they just kind of like said that. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I know it wasn't that because they only kept her for a few days, like, because nothing happened, obviously, like.
Yeah.
But apparently that was a law. If it was like that, they would have kept her longer. But basically, yeah, they took her off. She stayed there for like a week. I had the house to myself, so I recorded some music, brought all the homies over.
Right.
We ate pizza, had sleepovers. It was a fun time, actually, after that point. It was a reset we both needed. She came home, and she was like, you know, I'm mad as fuck, but I needed that. I actually needed that. And I was like, glad we can come to a happy ending on that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it damaged me or matured me because shit like that was happening. But also, I mean, it wasn't all sad shit. It was like I had good times with friends and shit there.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking weird, like, what has to bring you to something sometimes. Yeah.
If there was any story to... Well, that and her birthday, but we're not going to get into that. But
Sure.
Put both of those things together, yes. That was like the staple of my time in Vegas as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I wonder if being in Vegas in some way, like, helped the cops handle that in terms of them just probably seeing crazy shit all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of what I be thinking about, because that was pretty much on the milder side, minus the shotgun.
Right.
Like, people on the strip get harassed, like tourists get harassed and stuff all the time.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I've only been there a few times, and I wasn't even like 21 when I went. So, yeah, I'm not really trying to.
Yeah, me either. I was there. I just didn't want to. I never had that feeling, any temptation. You know, all my friends wanted to go to casinos and go into the clubs and shit, and I was like,
Well, you had this one line on your album where you said, like, you basically said something about Mac Miller being, like, the best addict to listen to because at least he tells kids not to be like him, you know? And
people are, some people are, there's a genre of people really angry about that, but they don't, like, understand how much I love Mac.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, they're saying it like it was, like, a backhanded compliment, but, like, you know, if you want to look at it that way, yes, it can be a backhanded compliment. But the way I was like thinking was like, we got all these guys now that like all they do is talk about that. Like, they're talking about, oh, I'm off the lean, I'm off the bean, I'm off the Zan, I'm off this. And I'm like, yeah, there's going to be kids that hear that shit, and they're going to be like, what's that? And then they're going to get into it, whatever. And these people are, like, legitimately, like, this close away from not being crackheads. Like,
Yeah.
like, the shit they're taking is literally the same shit in crack on some of these things. So it's like, I'm looking at this shit, and, like, obviously I'm not, like, I really only care for the fact that, like, I have empathy for, like, mankind as a whole. So, like, when I see, like, kids looking up to people like that, and they're like, oh, I want to be just like him, I'm like, damn, that sucks. Because, like, that they're not doing anything to, like, not tell them to not do that shit. Like, you get the occasional artist who is, like, in that genre of shit, and they're like, don't do drugs, kids. But it's like, it's half-assed. It's not like, but Mac, he literally has a song where it's called Don't Do Drugs. And he's like saying, don't be like me, don't do drugs. Yeah. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I really loved him for that because he was really open and honest about his addictions. And he was that's one of the main reasons I love Faces. When I was listening to it, I was like, that was the first time, which is ironic because Eminem. Yeah. But, like, that was the first time I heard someone be that honest about their demons like that. Yeah. And they were just like, his whole tone was like, yeah, my dad doesn't like that I'm doing this, but, you know, I'm really fucking sad, so I'm doing it. And I don't want to do it. You guys shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it because it makes me feel better. Now I'm going
to talk about it. Yeah. Did you see the little mini documentary they made about him being an addict while he was still alive?
I think I probably did.
So it's not Vice, but it's, you know, something analogous to that. And basically, like, there's a scene where it's like him in his, like, new apartment in New York or something. He's talking about how, like, life is good and how he's been doing less drugs. And there's this scene of him in the studio where he's, like, trying to pour, like, lean. Yeah, and French Montana is, like, being like, don't do that. And he's, like, saying, like, you're not listening to me. This is not what you think it is. He's like, this is, like, way worse than what you think it is. So don't do what you're doing. And Mac is just like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, and he's being playful about it, like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, and it's really crazy to see the dichotomy of, like, when someone's being playful with, like, really self-destructive behavior and whether or not the people around you will just let you be playful, or someone like French Montana where he was, like, really just being like,
don't do that.
Yeah. And it's crazy because towards the end of the mini doc, he's saying, like, there's nothing cool about overdosing. You just die. Yeah. But then there's this moment where he goes, I'm still going to do drugs though. He's like, don't trip. I'm not going to be sober. Yeah. And, like, you know, and the doc ends and it's just like, it's so hard to watch.
Given what happened and how we know what happened now, it's like...
And he was, like, I'm the age he was when he passed now, and I'm just like, I can't even comprehend accomplishing what he did at my current age, and the idea of just being gone, like, it just... Yeah, so... I don't know, like, even just hearing, like, Drake on Sicko Mode talking about popping half a Zan.
I'm really, like...
I'm like, you're, like, a billionaire. Yeah, you're talking about popping Zans? Like, why?
I understand maybe that someone's there writing with you, so they might say that, like, bro, that's gonna sound so cool. And, you know, like... Yeah. I could see Drake hanging out with, like, internet money, and then the nigga's like, oh, yeah, if you just say that, the kids will love it. Yeah. They love that shit. I'm like... So... When I hear him drop lines like that, he still does to this day. I'm like, Drake, come on.
That's one thing that's interesting about Kanye is he occasionally talks about rolling up some weed, but I don't really picture Kanye high.
Picture it either,
I picture Kanye as a sober guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously he drinks, but yeah, I guess that's his shit.
That's how I feel too. Whenever I think about that with him, and I also think about, like, I just be thinking, like, do people I've lost where I was going with that shit. Damn.
Kanye high.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I never really pictured Kanye, like, smoking weeds. And I kind of, when I first seen it, I was like, oh shit, yeah. I mean, he doesn't say he doesn't, like. Right. And I'm not, like, against weed. If anything, like, I'm not against, like. Yeah. I'm not really against, like, people smoking weed. I'm against, like, niggas making that their whole thing.
Yeah, making millions of dollars off of kind of selling
not even just that, like, not with artists, just people, period. Just like, I need weed to function. I'm like, it's kind of like, I don't know. That's just not.
Well, yeah, I was straight edge till I was like 20, and
Yeah.
now in recent years I've had like addiction issues with weed, so
Yeah.
now I've been like getting sober from it, and like I am like way better
You
off
are
it.
clearly not who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying like I firsthand went from like doing nothing to
Yeah.
then having like a fun time, and then eventually I was like doing it every day, and it
Yeah.
kind of just sucked, and like I'm very glad to be out of that cycle now because like I definitely know people where that's like their whole personality. I'm like, what are you into though? You know, like
I had a member in the group, and literally we were going to shoot a video, and we were going to go all the way to a desert, so we weren't gonna be anywhere near anything.
yeah.
They wanted me to stop everything, even though we were already running late, running out of sunlight and shit. Stop everything, go all the way out of the way to go get some weed so he can
Be okay.
be okay for the
Yeah.
video. And like, that's just something I will never understand. I just can't compute that. Like,
Yeah.
like some people like have actual health issues and they need that shit. I don't see it for like regular people. That shit does not make sense to me. Like, and then when we got there, he started like having like a diva mode thing. Like, you didn't take me to get the weed. Fuck everything. Fuck this video. Fuck this shit. I'm over here.
Man,
And I was like, I just will never understand that. That's probably just because I had a bad experience with people. There's probably people who smoke weed all the time. That's like their thing, and I love
yeah.
them.
I mean, there's people like Seth Rogen where like they seem
Wiz
fine.
Khalifa.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like the three guys really.
Yeah, I just had a really singular biased.
No, I'm with you. I
experience.
mean, I guess with like the general themes of your album, you know, like you talk a lot about not wanting to work, you know, stupid jobs or how
Yeah.
hard it is, you know, to get people in power to just like let you be a creative person and live off of that. And I thought it was interesting too, just hearing you talk about like influences and like modern pop culture, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's something I had to push myself to do because sometimes I'll be forgetting I'm like here. I'll be so in my head about like the shit I think about. Like, I be forgetting pop culture exists sometimes. And then like also on top of that, I've kind of like put a wall between me and the internet. Like, I go there when I need to, and then I leave when I don't linger too long.
Yeah.
So like on this album, I was like, damn, I don't talk about pop culture enough. I need to like show I'm here, I'm present, I know I'm of this world, because like the last couple of albums, everything I worked on before, it was like I didn't have no one-liners that just like hit because I
Right.
wasn't referencing anything anyone knew about. That was kind of like a important thing about me pushing everything I did for this last one, because I was like, they don't know me, but they know all these other things. So like, let me just put something in front of them they know about so that
Yeah.
they can attract a little bit easier.
That's interesting. I was watching your GHETTOLAND like TV show you made on YouTube, which I think is very well made, honestly. You did a great job. And I something I liked was towards the end, you're kind of reflecting on how you somewhat had to talk about pop culture and existing things that people already know to get attention to you, and how like that's such a double-edged sword because you don't want to have to do that.
Yeah.
And I remember you were saying how, like, you know, if you want to be successful too, like I kind of made a template a little bit, but but I remember you said something like, "Don't do it later though. I just did it."
Yeah.
You know, because if
Yeah.
someone else came out with
Uncultured 2.0.
yeah,
with the-
just ripping off all the music videos again, you know,
Yeah.
you're like, well, now you're doing what
now
I did.
you just do it. That's really meta. You might get something,
That's
but
really
like,
meta. Yeah,
you might want to like hold off on it for a little bit.
yeah, that's funny.
I don't. That's why I said it that way, because I was like, you could do it, just don't do it right now.
I remember there was this Cole Bennett Lyrical Lemonade directed video for somebody, and I think the artist's song name was Kanye West or something like that.
Yeah.
And the video is just like shot for shot recreations of Kanye videos.
Joyner Lucas.
Who knows? I don't know. It could have been anybody, but that video kind of pissed me off because, like, so you were doing it on an independent level,
On an
making a
independent
statement
I
level.
have no money.
This guy was just like throwing money at like cosplaying Kanye
Yeah.
videos for seemingly no artistic goal.
You could do anything. You could have made anything. That's the thing I was saying. Like, people who have money, you can make anything. And
Yeah.
you choose to make the shit you be making. I made what
Yeah.
I made because I was like, I got a camera, I got a backyard. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Because this shit needs to move, but all I got is this. That's why it's funny to me. Like, I had put out some. This is one of those narrative videos that I put out. It was just like a one-off. Like, it's a split screen, and it's me on one side with my face and me riding a bike on the other.
Sure.
And I'm dressed with the fucking I think it's called a Kangol hat.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a polo shirt, brown pants, loafers.
Yeah.
Immediately. Oh, Tyler, you stole this from Tyler. This is Tyler. Tyler. Tyler did not invent splitting a fucking screen, bro. He did not invent clothes.
Oh, like the okra video?
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't invent splitting a screen. He didn't invent wearing clothes. I was trying to channel my Gene Kelly, but because I'm black, I'm Tyler somehow.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's one thing Brockhampton did that kind of annoyed me when they were doing their saturation videos.
Yeah.
They had like a cropped in format.
Yeah, the
And-
4:3. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even 4:3.
No, it wasn't even
It was like
4:3. It had
full
the, like-
screen, but just in. Like, it
Yeah.
was just a border around the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which technically is an existing ratio. I think it was like a certain television one from a decade. And
Yeah.
they performed, I don't know if it was like Macy's Day Parade, but it was some like
TRL. Were they in blue?
Yeah.
TRL.
And they're like in New York.
Yeah, TRL.
Okay. I remember one of them went on Twitter, probably Kevin, and he was like, I can't believe they let us use the Brockhampton ratio on TV. And I was like, man, like, come on. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you didn't invent that. And on top of that, like,
Kevin's a funny nigga, though. He probably was just doing that on purpose. He likes just saying shit on
Yeah.
Twitter, especially when it comes to Twitter. He just be saying shit.
yeah.
But that would be funny I wouldn't put it past him to fully think like, yeah, I made that, yeah.
Yeah. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, I don't really tune into that part of the. As somebody had mentioned to me that like I was like that they could see the Brockhampton influence in me, and I was like,
Like,
I
what,
don't-
just being
I didn't really.
independent?
I listened to them to like understand what made people like them,
Yeah.
and like I studied them because they were the most recent thing,
Yeah.
closest to what I wanted to do. So like it put me in a space where I was like listening to everything they made. I was watching all the videos to see like how people react to the shit, and I'm like, oh, okay, they like it when they do this, and they like that. Oh, okay, how are they on social media? Oh, they like it when they tweet like this. All right, cool. Because I was taking notes for my group, and so that's kind of how the show even came about. Because if you remember, early on in their career, they had a show on Viceland.
Yes.
And-
American Boy Band.
Yes. And that was like the whole reason I did the show, because I was like, okay, after this show came out,
Yeah.
people really like were able to tune in to what the fuck was going on with them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want right now. So I'm going to take that template, that format, and apply it to me and make it as close to my thing as possible.
Is the
And,
Ghettoland logo in like the blonde font
Yes.
also?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about all this shit with like, oh, okay, put something familiar in front of them so that they can immediately be like, oh, that's that. Okay, what's
Yeah.
going on here? And on double points, if it's in a genre of people that I kind of want to be mentioned among coming in, because that'll be like the easiest way to come in, do that. So
You kind of nailed it, honestly. Like, the more I think about it, it's really interesting because you have all this branding that's like based around familiar shit, which catches people's eye because people just love like fan art and seeing stuff that surrounds what they already like.
yeah,
Then they're clicking into it and they're like, I don't think I know this guy though. He
Yeah.
seems new. And then like everything you're talking about is like so transparent,
Yeah.
you know, and it's almost like the album has air quotes around it
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like it's like supposed to be on that kid's wall, like with these other ones.
exactly.
And then it's kind of the entry point to whatever you're gonna do next, which then, you know, I don't know, but maybe it'll be more fully original again.
yes,
the way, like,
yes,
Gnarly
that's
is.
exactly what it's, yeah.
Yeah, you know, for the people who want to like keep seeing what, you know, happens.
This one is like, I'm fully aware that like people really still don't know me,
Sure.
but like I got a little something to work with, so I'm giving them a little bit. Like I'm giving them a little bit on this one. Like
Yeah.
it's probably gonna be like 90 to 80% me, 10 to 20% them.
Sure.
I don't have to be too familiar anymore. Like I'm able to pull back on that shit now.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna check this camera again.
Yeah, do that.
How was it? Were you super surprised to get the Fantano review?
Yeah. As surprised as one can be after he tweeted it.
Yeah.
Fucking, It was really a shot in the dark, to be honest. Like, I emailed a few people at the time. I emailed them initially, and like I said in the fucking videos I posted, like, I was really about to just put one out of my own already. But I was like, man, I've been sending shit to this guy and everybody for years. Let me just try one more time, just see if you actually see it this time. And I only really did it too because there was another guy within my circle of influence that I can see what's going on with him. I remember it in he deleted it now, but there is a video he was talking about his song, and I was like, how the fuck did this guy get to Fantano? What the fuck is going on with this?
Yeah, it's interesting.
And so I'm listening, and then Fantano said, oh yeah, somebody emailed me this, and it's a fire track. I'm gonna react to it. And I was like, emailed you? It's that easy?
Yeah.
I figured like a billion people email you all the time, which I'm sure they do, but like, you really be looking at that shit? All right. And that was years ago. So now I'm thinking about that when I was doing it. I was like, let me just try. And sent it to him. Obviously, the rest is history. After he did the tweet, in my head, I was like, so many people are like kind of being like already, like the fans were hitting him up like, oh, are you going to review? I'm thinking he's looking at it like, I'm not going any further than this. This shit is already annoying me. I should never open that box. I'm annoyed. I don't want to, because I was tagging him and shit too, because I was telling people that, oh, look, he posted me. And he like removed the tags on Instagram and shit. I was like, oh,
he did?
Yeah, I was like, he's probably tired of me. I'm not getting a review. But it would be tight if he did.
Yeah.
And so I held out for a little bit just because I didn't know. And then I was like, all right, let me post mine. So after that, I think it was like a week or two after that had happened. And funny enough, I was on the shitter and my girl comes running in. I'm thinking something's wrong. She's like,
yeah,
look. I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. And that was just my whole reaction was just, interesting. I didn't think he was going to do it. That's tight. Let's go watch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah. I was excited for it because I'm like, I also thought a lot more would come from it. Like, he's the tastemaker's tastemaker, and like labels go to whatever the fuck he's talking about to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I figured like, oh, like immediately somebody's going to see that shit and be like, oh, this is the new guy. Okay, let me figure out what's going on with him. And not really much. I was already going up before the video. So when he dropped that, it just took it to a next step. And I was like, oh, I thought I was going to get a bigger bump or something from it. But yeah.
Yeah, that it's interesting. Like you want so badly to get something that might help you.
Yeah.
And even when you get it, it's like kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Like I always, the artists I think of with him kind of helping like really expose them is like, he did Injury Reserve and he did Brockhampton. And I feel like with both, those probably both helped them find a lot of audiences. Because I think that both those artists were just like on like Kanye to the forums and like shit like that, you know? And, so yeah, it's like in your mind, like it should be able to do the thing, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still making its rounds and shit, like the algorithm or whatever, like eventually people will come across it and stuff, but like,
sometimes I get pissed at him when he gives something an 8, but he doesn't wear the yellow flannel because I know so many people just click on the yellow flannel.
Yeah,
videos,
that's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, if you're giving them an 8, can you just do them
wear
the
yellow
decency of wearing that fucking shirt?
Fucking, I didn't know what the white shirt meant for a long time. So when
does that mean anything?
I guess it just means it's like one of the average albums. Like
That's funny.
It's like a 5 to a 6, 7, something like that.
The shirt conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I don't really like 100% know, but when I seen him wearing the white flannel, I was like, oh, it's not red.
He has a blue one too.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I think he's just wearing shirts at a certain
at this point. He's just fucking with us, right?
Yeah, I think he's only canonized the yellow and the red, but now we're all analyzing his goddamn. That's funny.
I was just surprised. I thought it was going to be... So on mine, I said like, oh, it's going to be an 8 out of 10. Obviously, on me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to give myself an 8.
Yeah.
But I really thought he'd give it like a 4.
Sure.
Like before I even like clicked on it, I was like, you might get a 4, strong 4. But I seen it was a white flannel and I was like, usually when it's like that, he gets a red. So I don't know. Maybe it's the one I don't know about, the blue one. But then he gave it that 6 and I was like, oh, You liked it a lot more than I thought you would.
As much as my beautiful dark twisted
Yeah,
fantasy,
I was
apparently.
like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know he said before that 5 and up means that he likes the album.
Yeah.
And like that's how I feel with like movies too. Like I use Letterboxd and it's like the 5-star system. In my head I just
Someone put me on there.
it's cool. I just do it because I like remembering the shit I've done in my life. So making a list of like what movies I watched each year is just fun for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I'm like thinking of something like out of 10 stars, I'm like, yeah, if it's
Yeah, if
lower
it's
than
above
5,
five,
I didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. If it's over 5, I liked it, but it could have, there's some things that maybe I would have liked more if you
Yeah.
would have just did that. Yeah.
I remember you filmed your like reaction of watching it, and something you said was, yeah, all the things he criticized was stuff I couldn't really control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he was like talking about the mixing. I can only do so much. I only know so much. So my whole thing with mixing is like, I know I can make a song sound like a song.
Yeah.
But when I look at the people that do it like in the studios and shit, I know for a fact, like, okay, yeah, I know they know way more than I do. And I know that they can, if I gave them my shit, they'd be like, okay, maybe you could do this and that. I know I won't ever get to a point of mixing that well until I bring it over there and see what they're doing and like see
Yeah.
whatever's going on with that. If it was like, if that's pretty much what I'm saying with that too, is just like, I can only mix so well. Like I'm only me and I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
And I just change like whatever I do for each album. I just kind of pick up a new technique to
Yeah.
use.
No, sorry, go ahead.
And pretty much it was also like the way shit was presented. Like I know like him and like a lot of people didn't really like Krampus. That was supposed to be like my Thriller. And I was supposed to have like a short film to go with it. I had this Krampus mask and I was
Yeah.
going to make a whole thing. And it was supposed to be like that because I wanted to present it like it was for sure like a Christmas thing. That's why I dropped it in like December and shit too. So I was like, damn, I couldn't flesh out anything I wanted to do for this album to
Yeah.
make it like people can understand it and shit.
Yeah.
So
I want to pull up the track list actually really
Yeah.
quick just so I can remember. Krampus, I was like, all right, an evil Christmas song, sure.
yeah, yeah, it's so random to be in there too. Because
Yeah.
if I really couldn't flesh it out, I really shouldn't even have put it there. But like, I tried my hardest.
My favorite two, I think, were Break the Cycle and Fallen Soldiers.
Yeah,
Break the Cycle, just when those drums come in,
Yeah.
and then the bass line, it's just like awesome.
I was sitting on that shit, like the sample for that for like a year, and I was gonna put it with this other set of songs, but I couldn't figure out what I wanted around it, and so I just like scrapped it for the time. And I was like, I'm not ready for it. I gotta wait. So this time around, I was like, all right, let's put a theme behind it, and then let's make it a dance song, because I want to have like I don't think people would catch to this, but like, I was really like trying to make a Thriller album.
Yeah.
And like, so that's why you have like Worst Enemy is this ballad.
That one's great.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
supposed to
really
be
good.
like how Michael Jackson has a song on Thriller where he does this like soft ballad and he's like fucking crying in the song and shit.
Yeah.
I was going to do all that, but I was like, I don't want to do all that. But it was that. And then it's also like Frank Ocean usually always has these like one songs on his album where it's just him and an instrument.
Futura Free is my favorite Frank Ocean
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
That was really good. Mine's is what's that shit called? I would be honest, I would have made it.
I
the fuck is that
I don't
called?
know the name. Yeah.
Close to You.
Oh, close to.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
on
Well, he
Blonde.
sampled that Stevie
Yeah, the
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder song.
Davy Crockett.
Yeah, I would listen
performance.
to that shit on loop every day, and it's just
Yeah.
a small little interlude or something. But
Yeah. Looking at the track list now, I'm like, oh damn, there's actually so many things I was gonna ask you.
I listened to this band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
That boy said, what?
Yeah,
King Lizard and the Wizard, what?
yeah.
That shit sound like a Harry Potter spell or some shit.
Yeah, they got a weird name. But yeah, it's all over the place. I just be listening to a lot of shit.
Man, I feel you though. Sometimes I be listening to random ass stuff. Like there's this shit called, I think it's a band, The Neighborhood, They got this song called Sweater Weather or some shit like that.
Yeah,
right?
I know Sweater Weather.
Yeah, that shit. I be listening to that sometimes in my room. I be playing like Al Green and shit like that for the shit my folks be playing, like oldies. Yeah, I like listening to that stuff when I be smoking and shit. It be hitting for real.
Oh.
Order number
Yeah, that's
567. 567, your order's ready?
So yeah, I want to ask you about that skit. So like it's like kind of multiple minutes, like two guys just talking about like what they're listening to.
I made it so long.
I like it though. Yeah.
It's not even that I like it. It's like on this one, I was like, I want to let it all hang out on this one because
Yeah.
this is going to be a lot of people's introduction to me. So I was like, okay, I can make everything because the way I work, I like to make shit straight to the point and short, and like I don't want to take too much people's time, you know?
Yeah.
But for this album, I was like, all right, with every idea I have, put it here because this is like low-key, the way I was feeling when I was putting it out, I was like, this might be the last one I put out because if nobody gets to this one, I'm getting kind of old. I probably need to go figure some shit out. I'm still going to put out music, but like
Yeah.
I got to figure some shit out. So I was like, just let it all hang out on this one. Just show every idea you have, show everything you can do on this one. That's why there's so many genres on there. And just let it go. So when I put the skit together and I seen it was like 7 minutes or some shit like that, I think it's about 7 minutes. I was like, niggas is going to hate this, but I got to do it.
Yeah.
I got to show them.
At the end of the day, people can just hit skip and move on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, worst case scenario, they could just skip.
What's funny is the skit ends with the guy going to check out a song, and then the album moves on to a song, and then it goes back to the skit. I was like, oh, we're still here?
Yeah, we're still in the fucking restaurant. Okay.
Yeah, which,
and I got a lot of people with the AirPod thing, too.
Yeah.
People be hitting me up like, you got me.
Made me think my AirPod was...
Yeah. My shits were dying.
That's funny. The first time I listened to it, I just kind of found it interesting, and then I was replaying the album on the way over here, and it kind of reminded me of, you know, because of the internet, like in-universe kind of stuff. And what are you playing both characters in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? So you guys like start off talking about like what rappers you're into, and then you kind of the two characters are like bonding over like bands, and like you wound up talking about King Gizzard and the Neighborhood, which like super threw me off. You know? What made you like go down the?
So originally it was gonna be me like trying to like put them on. I have the Uncultured song, so I wanted to be like, oh, let like an older guy sees a young guy, get some cultured. Hey, here's some fucking Johnny Coltrane or some shit. I don't know. And I was like, nah, that's pretentious. I don't really care like what people listen to. If they want to listen to NBA Youngboy, let them. It's not like it's the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
And so it ended up being more like just two dudes having a really genuine conversation. I don't even know if I'm basing this off of real life. Like partially it is because it's like I've been in situations like that before, but like I've never had that specific conversation with like someone. So
sure, it felt very real though.
Yeah.
And I liked how like you might make assumptions about what someone's into.
Yeah.
But then they'll like hit you with a left.
Yeah.
Because what the other guy was talking about, I didn't expect him to talk about the neighborhood. It's sweater weather. I'm like, this guy's into sweater weather.
That's the funny shit I'll be talking. You'll have like these kids who come from like the inner city, and they're a little rougher, and they be kind of scared. Like I remember when I first brought up to my friend Chris, we were at a McDonald's and they started playing Group Love on the fucking PA.
Yeah.
And I'm like singing a song like, oh, I love this song. This is fun. And he's like, how you know this white boy shit? And I'm like, it's not white boy shit. It's just the radio. This shit is bumping right now. This is the times. And he's like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of know it, but I don't want to like say that. And I'm like, why are you so scared to like things that aren't straight hood shit? Like, man, you can like shit if you like it. You don't have to be like that.
Yeah.
But then they pass it off now. It's like, oh yeah, I just be smoking weed to it. That's just like my smoking weed music.
That's like the defensive.
But when I'm not high, I'll be listening to gangster shit. And I'm like, all right.
That's interesting. Because I was just like a huge Donald Glover fan in high school and shit, and so like when I saw his stand-up bit talking about getting bullied for like in the Cranberries, and,
and Suvyon and shit.
yeah, and there's like and his I'm Just a Rapper mixtapes, he's like rapping over like the bands I was listening to, which for me is like some like alt kid. I was like,
that's what bridges the worlds. That's what I'm saying. Like, the fact I compare that to like how Frank Ocean did the Eagles cover.
Yeah.
And that brought him to a whole nother audience.
Well,
Like
Nostalgia Ultra, he's like singing over MGMT.
Yeah.
And, you know what's funny? On Nostalgia Ultra, he just does a full-blown like karaoke cover of Strawberry Swing by Coldplay.
Exactly.
And that's like one of my favorite Coldplay songs. And it's kind of a deep cut. It wasn't really a single, but it's super beautiful. And his voice just kind of sounds better on it than Chris Martin's. You know? And that like really solidified me liking him.
That shit like bridged the gap for me for MGMT because I didn't know anything about him. I thought his Electric Feels was the thing, and then I found out and I was like, oh wow, okay. And
they're
that
so
opened
good.
my mind to them and Coldplay and shit.
They artistically kind of did something similar to you, where like Electric Feel, Kids, and Time to Pretend. Do you know the lore on this? All right, so they were performing these songs on college campus, basically, while they were going there, and they kind of made the songs ironically. They were like, yeah, we're going to make some pop synth shit, And then they, like, got a deal, and they didn't want those songs on their debut album.
Yeah.
Now they all have, like, 1 billion plays each. And the label was like, you literally have to.
Yeah, exactly.
And the rest of the album, it has a very psychedelic kind of thing going on. It's amazing. And they have a song on there called The Handshake, which is kind of about, like the deal and like, the selling your soul shit. And people did not, like the masses rather, I think it's amazing, but the masses did not really give a fuck about their second album because it was just very original in them. And then they put out a self-titled, which a lot of people I feel like didn't pay attention to. And recently they did their 4th one, and it's like the first time where they like have like hits again. But like but all 4 albums are like amazing. Yeah. And even I, like as a fan, kind of slept on some of it, because you just
sometimes the
singles
happens.
get you. But those guys artistically, I think, like they just want to do what they want to do, and their videos are like really weird and stuff. So having them kind of like, have like a Frank Ocean cover or showing up on Kid Cudi stuff. Like I like the way those guys move a lot. Yeah.
So really my only like super duper favorite, that's why I mentioned King Gizzard in there, because I really actually like King Gizzard.
My dad is like so into that band.
Yeah. I don't even know what or how I even got introduced to him or like what made me like him so much. Like I think it was just because I liked Pink Floyd a lot. I liked the Dark Side of the Moon a lot. So, like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. And then them and Tame Impala, too. And Bad, Bad, Not Good. Those was, like, the ones that I gravitated to, and those were all brought to me through different, like, people I already liked. And it was like, I probably never would have even heard of them if they didn't do, like, remixes and covers and shit.
Totally.
Like, I found out about Like Lee through Tyler's remix, and then I actually made, like, a chopped and screwed version of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
One of the most random concerts I've ever been to was Danny Brown opening for The Neighborhood.
That's random.
That was a tour that they did together.
The Neighborhood are kind of allies, though. They be like, they gave Kevin Abstract his first tour and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was funny is half the crowd left when
when
Danny
fuck
Brown
is
was
this?
done.
Yeah.
And then there were the guys who got smoke to this, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very. That was back when he still had his like hair and the teeth. Yeah. And then I saw him open for Gambino on the Camp tour, and we were in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he's like, "What's up, Tucson?" We're like, "We're not in Tucson."
Sometimes I'll be using his voice though. It's really fun to rap like Danny Brown.
Oh yeah. I wanted to ask you. You use your voice like really interestingly. Like you changed it a lot.
So I learned really early on I have an interesting voice because I can like. I'm not really talking in my normal tone right now. I'm talking so you can hear me. How I really talk is like really lower.
You want to give a sample of that?
I really talk like this.
Oh, yeah?
That's my real voice.
Yeah?
But niggas don't hear me, so I have to project my voice so people can hear me.
Yeah.
And I learned that really early on, like at 16, because I was talking like that, and every time I'm in class, I'm like, hey, I need help or something. Like, Jimmy, speak up. What the fuck?
Right.
So, like, I had to, like, switch my voice. But that was what made me like, I started singing at that time too, because I was like, okay, if I start singing now, by the time I'm a little bit older, even if it's not the best, I should be able to hold a tune. And that was how much I started gearing my life towards music so early on. So now that I know I can go up really high, down really low, I use that to my advantage on certain shit and just do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, you have some songs where you're doing kind of like a Kendrick type inflection. And
Exactly.
I'm sure that's intentional, right?
Yes, it's intentional.
Yeah.
Yes. Kendrick was a big part of my life at one point. I remember every day walking with the Beats by Dre, listening to fucking Good Kid, Mad City in high school in freshman year. And a lot of the voices I do is from that album. Like everything he's done after that, I like, but like it never really stuck.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which now Baby Keem is like.
Yeah, the Baby Keem Kendrick / voice.
Yeah.
But if you notice, like a lot of the singing I do is similar from Good Kid, Mad City, because that was the one that really like stuck with me. Like there is this voice he used to do. He doesn't do it anymore like that on there. He's like, I was like, I don't know what it is about this voice, but I really like it. And that was something I took from that. So that's why you get on Worst Enemy, where I'm like singing at the end. I'm like, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I think when I started getting like more into your work, I questioned for a sec if you were the same guy I thought you were, because I found out about you because you did the song Lemonade with my friend Lil QWERTY.
Yeah.
And have you seen QWERTY's little visualizer he made for it?
Yeah, I've seen it with the Kids Next Door and everything, the Cartoon Network.
How'd you feel about that?
He uploaded it, and then I think he tagged me in it one day, or he sent it or something, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't like the song anymore, so I was like over it. But he posted it, and I was like, all right, I mean, it's cool. If you want to crossover fans and stuff, they have a thing for that now. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was so fun. I remember he texted me or something. He's like, I'm editing a video. He's like, do you know how to find high quality Cartoon Network clips? And I was like, what is this for? He's like, I did a song with this guy, and I like it. So
I honestly didn't think he was going to like it when I sent it to him, and I didn't think he was going to like it that much after it had been put out and shit. I thought he was just like doing it because I was a homie.
Yeah.
And I thought he was just like, yeah, this nigga asked me to do a song. I do the song, whatever.
It's a fun song.
Yeah, it's a fun song. Like, in hindsight, I get what I was trying to do. So, like, I'm not a super critic on it. But, like, obviously, I'm not even, like, there anymore.
Well, your voice was, like, way low on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lemonade. I want to say better than a lemonade.
It was that whole thing.
Yeah.
How do you know QWERTY?
I went to a show in Vegas, and me and my friend were just, like, So when I was in Vegas, I was in this event coordination thing called Jam Nation, and they were booking a lot of artists everywhere and shit. And the antithesis to Jam Nation was this other guy, from Vegas, really good guy, Swami Natiro.
Okay.
He has a good crazy story, because not a good story. It's crazy, but not good. His arm is messed up. I don't remember exactly how, but he has like fingers on his arm, basically. So he got a lot of hype from just being like the guy with the one arm, basically, and like niggas was like fucking with him because he can actually rap too.
Yeah.
So they were like making this, they made their own event thing, and that was who I was kind of bouncing between them two. So we went to one of his things to see what was going on with him and stuff, and QWERTY was booked for that, and he came from Arizona to do the show or whatever, and it was in this small ass like shop in the corner of like a random ass parking lot in Vegas. Like I had never been there before. It was nighttime and looked shady as fuck, but they had like video games and shit all over the place too. But anyway, he performed and I liked it. I was like, this guy is like the best one out of this whole lineup. So like, let me go see what's up with him. And I really don't remember what we even talked about or anything. I just knew it was like good. Like, we were really fucking with each other. So he was like, yeah, I'm not even from here. I'm from Arizona. And then it clicked in my head. I was like, damn, not everyone is from here. Everyone be coming sometimes. And I was like, oh, let's exchange socials and shit. And somehow we kept in contact all this time. Yeah.
And he's also really into Sonic.
Yeah. And Splatoon.
Splatoon and Sonic.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. That's yeah. When I met him, I kind of immediately realized he was really good, and I feel like I've just been fortunate to where like now I've been kind of just introduced to like a big world of just like legitimately really talented people, and that's how like I found your thing. And it's just I get so excited by just seeing people like who are young and just making amazing stuff with like not much.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like with technology now, it's just like totally possible.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what you talk about is like we're making amazing things. Now it's really just if like people with power are like willing to look at it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the one thing that always surprised me. I thought he was gonna be the first, because I remember when Jump Drive came out. Like, I also thought it really didn't dawn on me till like maybe a year ago that you weren't like. I thought y'all were all this one collective thing, like, and I was like, oh, okay. But it dawned on me. I was like, oh, maybe they're not really like that. But I know you had, I believe you directed the first video he made, the Jigonomics one, right?
I did Eureka first,
Okay.
and then like a year or so later I did Jigonomics.
Yeah.
And we're working on other stuff now
I
too.
seen that video, and I listened to the album, and I was like, oh, damn. QWERTY's going to be next. Wow, I'm fucking behind. This is crazy. And
Yeah.
then he was getting like good numbers and shit too at the time. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? And he was the first person that I seen use the Google Translate lady.
Yeah.
And he had it as a feature, and I thought that was the funniest shit.
Yeah, that so that guy is so it's I know him now. It's this guy named Ben who lives in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he changed his artist name from Google Translate lady to English.
Oh.
And he's like kind of popping the most right
Yeah.
now,
Oh,
actually,
wow.
because he just put out his album Best Days, and it's like really catchy, and he's kind of perfected the whole like Vocaloid like Google Translate lady voice to where he can get it to like sing.
Oh, wow.
And like do auto tune and all this. So he's making
That's
like
funny.
legit pop songs. And he has this one song on there featuring AI Sonic, and he has Sonic do a verse over Green Hill Zone.
Yeah.
And like,
oh, wow.
he's like, yeah, he's created a whole like cinematic universe on TikTok with like his like avatar basically, and he has a side universe with AI Drake living in Bikini Bottom, and it's just like a whole fucking thing.
That's actually funny.
Yeah, and English is like a legit musician now, but yeah, when they were doing the whole like featuring Google Translate lady thing,
Yeah.
I remember I asked Tech, the producer, like
Tech Club, right?
yeah, Tech
Yeah.
Club. I was like, is that just a bit? Like, is that? Or he's like, no, that's like an actual artist
Yeah.
featured on this song. He's like, everybody keeps asking me if that's like
Yeah.
a real feature. He's like, it is.
Yeah, that shit blew my mind. I never had seen that shit before, and I was like, oh, there's too many good things going on at once with this album. I think it's gonna do something.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what he's doing next.
Yeah, like I told you, this really actually one of the like better like artists and rappers that I know of. He can really like, his one-liners are just the best. I love his one-liners.
Yeah,
That's what like that's what I was saying with like Rip Ali. Like that was what kind of gravitated me to him. I was obviously also like the production too. Like it wasn't like everything that I was listening to.
sure.
And fucking yeah, man, that dude. That's why I was gonna do like I still am gonna do it, but like I'm kind of like focusing on what I got going on. But like I was gonna make my own like platform, my own blog sort of thing.
Oh,
on,
cool.
like a complex. And one of the first people I posted was him specifically. I was like, I made it with him in mind, like him and this other guy, Raymond. I was like, these two people, these are like some of the most talented people I know. So I need to like get people to see this.
Yeah,
And I ended up posting them and everything. I was trying to share it and shit, but like I had to like, I was figuring shit out on the fly, and I'm still gonna do that, but I gotta like get right myself. That's what
Totally.
it came down to.
That's why I do this, is like, my main goal is to be a filmmaker, and so I'd love to make movies, but in the meantime, while nobody's giving me money to make movies, music videos are like a cool way to make short films, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've just always been such a huge fan of interviews, because I just love like learning about like the people I like, you know. And I'm like, all right, I'll go drive out to talk to Jimmy or
Yeah.
whoever, because I'm like, somebody has to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I like how much you appreciate like art and just like intentionally made stuff and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah. We're at an hour 40 minutes.
It did not feel like that at all.
Good.
That's crazy.
I'm glad.
I'm still good if you're good, but
Anything I might have missed, or maybe just talking about the future. Yeah.
We can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much with the next thing, like I said, like not even just musically, I guess how I'm gonna package it and everything is gonna be like more reeled back, and it's gonna be more original to me. I'm not gonna go full original yet because I really want people to like tune in a little bit more. Once I have like my one thing that dawned on me like not too long ago, I was like, it's crazy because I'm at a point now, like low-key, anything I post now from this point on will get seen. And that was like a really good revelation for me. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I freaked the fuck out. I posted a story the other day. I got like 9,000 views on it.
Oh, that's nuts.
And I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like November, I was getting 300 on a good day.
Yeah.
Today, I got 9,000 people to look at what I just said. And it wasn't even nothing important like that. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So now I'm like, okay, if I can just get that like one more step over, then I can like go super back to gnarly level era, just super duper originality. And I'm going to be as original as possible with this next one. But I mean that in the sense that like, I'm going to package certain things certain ways when I present it to people and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, the next one is wait, when was this be coming out?
I'm just gonna edit as soon as possible, so maybe like a week or two.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So the next one is like pretty much gonna be what can I say about it? I'm trying to figure out what I would like people to know about it.
Yeah.
If anything, it's gonna be another theme. It's gonna be another concept to it, and it kind of coincides with Ghettoland, and it's perfect because like Ghettoland just happened, and this one is probably gonna come out really soon.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, and it's because by the time I was done with Ghettoland, I already had started working on something new.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one is gonna like kind of coincide with this one and get us one step closer to the point I'm trying to make with everything.
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah.
awesome.
And that's why I took down a lot of my older music. I just took it down recently. I took down a lot of the singles. I took down the mixtapes and all that shit.
You just want it to look cleaner and presentable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things you'll understand when the new music comes, because like when you hear it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, that's why it really makes no sense for all this other shit to be here when you got Ghettoland right here and this right here. This
Totally.
is all I need. And I just wanted people to like focus on these right here, and I was cool with like losing money on the other songs not being there.
Sure.
And yeah, and like that's pretty much all I have from the future with that. I want to fucking so like somebody like came to me from Rock Nation.
Oh,
and
wow.
I just talked to them the other day, and pretty much I was trying to figure out if there was like a way I can get money out of it.
Yeah.
So I can fund this one, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. So it's going to be kind of the same thing, which I'm kind of scared of, but people like it, obviously. So it's going to look like how the last one looked as far as the production value of the videos. So, yeah.
That's awesome, though. I'm glad that people are like taking notice and at least wanting to talk to you and shit.
That was the only one. I hit up everybody again. Everyone ignored me.
Yeah.
And the guy that hit me up, he wasn't even the one I hit up. It was just someone who just so happened to find me.
My version of that is going on shortoftheweek.com and being like, this is the one that's good enough to be on this fucking website.
Yeah.
And I give them my $35, and then they send me back an email being like, we assure you we watched it. It won't be on here.
Yeah. I fucking, gnarly, I made these mailers with like custom fucking shipping labels and shit.
Yeah.
Real professional, like with posters and
Totally.
stickers and all that shit. I sent it to everybody. Everyone, just whatever outlet you can think of, whatever label. And week by week, just some of them just sent back like return to sender, just nothing. I was like, It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that this last one like worked the way you wanted it to. Like it's kind of funny because the way you present it, it's almost like you're trying to predict the future. Like and then when it actually happened, it's like, okay, that really solidifies this. You know, it's funny. Like it's kind of like, you know, like when Kanye made Last Call.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and you know, people say like when he hadn't had an album yet, he would be talking about his second album already, and people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, fucking. I was just telling my girl this. I was like, it's weird how, not weird, it's just, and to me it's tight, like how you're able to say something and it just be that. Like, I didn't think when I would say certain things that I meant, like when I really meant, when I was just like, oh, I want to like give the kids someone new to look up to. I want to give the world a new thing. A lot of people would like, I think it's only just because it's like me projecting, but like a lot of people would probably be like, oh, who's this nigga think he is? What are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? But like people actually heard it for what it was and like actually was like, damn, that's what I want to do. That's tight.
Yeah.
And like, I want to be like that too. So, and then there was a connection, a real connection. And so like, that's when you're saying like, I almost was predicting what I had to say. It was like, I was just saying shit, hoping that it stuck, and niggas was like, yeah, you said it right. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, tight.
I think the fact that you're like actually an earnest person with good intentions helps, because that is something I've thought about before, is it is a very vulnerable and borderline preposterous thing to want to be inspiring, because if you're like a fucking, if you're like a jackass, like Gary Vee or some shit, you know, people are like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? And like, also, like, I don't know, to even admit that you're inspired by things these days, you know, people will find any excuse to call, like, behavior corny, which is stupid. And, like, you know, I'm inspired by so much stuff. Yeah. But I think people want to be, like, too cool for shit.
Yeah,
you know,
I never watched anything ever. I've never listened to anything.
But, like, just being motivated by stuff, I think is very important, you know, like, There's like a podcast I'm a big fan of, and yesterday somebody asked me, oh, are you like a diehard fan of that? And I took it the negative way. I was like, is it a bad thing that I am? You know, and I remember I played it off kind of like, oh yeah, you know, and I watch it, but in my head I'm like, no, I watch that shit every day. This is my shit.
Yeah,
and it's funny like how like people are afraid to like talk passionately about stuff like that.
I was just talking about this. If you like anything now and you say you like it publicly, you're dick riding.
Yeah.
Like that's the new thing. And I was like, whoa. When the fuck did it become not cool to say you like some shit? Like, why is it dick riding you've never met any of these people. How's it dick riding? If you like something, just say you like it. And why do we all have to like talk shit about each other that we like a thing? Yeah. And if that's all we're obsessed with, okay, cool.
Something that really stuck with me as a kid once is like, you know how when you're a little kid, you're like very free in the things you like, and then you get a little bit older and you want to like push away the like kiddie stuff. Mm-hmm. I was like at that age, and I was with a older family friend who was kind of like an older brother type. Mm-hmm. And maybe I was like, you know, like, I don't know, trying to be a grown-up kid, and I was like maybe cringing at like, I don't know, Blue's Clues or something. Yeah. And I remember he said to me, you're the part of childhood where that's not cool anymore, and then you go to high school and then it's cool again. Exactly. Because when you get old, then you start to like be prideful about your like SpongeBob shirt, you know?
You
it's like
start becoming an individual that likes things.
Yeah, and you start repping the shit that was cool to you as a kid, because now there's like almost like a pride and like rejecting the rejection of it in a weird way.
You know how many people shitted on people for you would wear a shirt or some shit, or you would have the SpongeBob with the do-rag and shit. And like,
I have that shirt.
Yeah, shit like that. And it was like, oh, nigga, that's corny, whatever, fuck that. If you got that shit on now, you walk down the street, oh, you got the fucking shirt on.
I almost wore it today.
Yeah, that's funny.
I have the gangster SpongeBob shirt.
That's funny.
Because, yeah, like growing up in, it's funny to hear. I wasn't sure if that was outside of Arizona, to be honest. Because, like, you know, it's like a very high like Mexican population, you know, and so I went to school with like a lot of Mexican kids, and like generally that's like who was wearing that stuff, you know, and just like certain malls, like the kiosk would just be like selling gangster SpongeBob, you know, and like it's so preposterous. Yeah. And fucking I always wondered if like it was just like kids from my elementary school
Yeah.
who had these, and then growing up with the internet, I'm like, man, everybody had Gangster
Yeah.
SpongeBob. Like, yeah. So my younger brother tracked down the artwork and had it like really nicely printed on like a good shirt.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have that shit now, and it's like the best.
Yeah, don't bring it around me. I will steal it. Yes, I want one of those. Yes.
Yeah, he found like the highest quality like PNG.
Yeah. Oh man.
One thing I wanted to compliment you on is so as like a like we're talking about you as a musician obviously, but like as a video maker, you had a lot of attention to detail on stuff that was awesome. So like in the Uncultured video, those opening titles with like the color blocks, like such a homage to like old movies.
Yeah.
And I noticed like the rectangles, they even had like a nice like glow around them. It was a little bit, the color came out like a gradient. And GHETTOLAND at the end titles you did like had like this like depth of field on it where it like really looked like a old like VHS kind of like almost like anti-privacy type text. And like just those little touches like really are good.
Yeah,
if you're wanting something to notice, I know.
Yeah, that's tight. Yeah, because I really be doing that stuff, and I'm like, nobody gonna care about this, but I really like that shit, so I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't know. With each video from, I want to say, 2020 to now, whenever I was able to shoot videos, when I started getting more hands-on with the editing and shit, I taught myself how to edit when I was younger. But, like, I never really had anything to edit past that point. Like, it was just one-off shit here and there from high school and shit. And I would try to shoot shit with, like, my friend in Vegas and shit. But each video, I just was, like, introducing new things that I just didn't think about. Like, I would watch other shit and I'd be like, oh, damn, I never thought to use a sound effect like that. Or, oh, damn, he blurred this a little bit, just the tiniest bit to make it look like it's fuzzy. Why haven't I done that yet? Let me try that out and try this one for Uncultured. That was actually like one of the last things I did was the title cards with the thing, because I was like, oh, I've been holding on to these for a minute. I should probably use them now.
And the star that like comes in.
Yeah, like I was like, I think I should like use that now and like fuck it, throw like 3 different grains on top of it. Let's see how that looks. And I was like, damn, I actually like that shit. That's exactly what I was trying to make all this time.
Yeah,
like that level of grain.
I'll put you onto a little tip I figured out. So I've been always trying to figure out how to get film grain to look good on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because when you export like a H.264 file, it's like a super compressed file, and a lot of time when you upload it to YouTube, the grain gets like real artifacted and like it almost gets like wiped away by the YouTube compression. I figured out that if you export your final video as a DNX HR, which is a Windows format. If you're on Mac, do like ProRes. Like they're kind of equivalents.
Yeah.
The file will be huge, and it'll take like a whole day to upload because it's gonna be like just like a really big, like 8 gigs or something like that.
Yeah.
So it'll take all day to upload. But I figured out that the file is like so high quality it like survives the YouTube compression, and then the grain looks really nice. Because I bet it looks better in Premiere.
Yeah,
than
no,
it
it
looked.
did. Yeah. No, I use DaVinci.
DaVinci. Oh, right. Yeah. DaVinci is amazing. It's free.
Yeah.
And it like
I bought it.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how good
the
it is.
studio
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, I was using Premiere all this time before, but then they went to the subscription model. And
Yeah.
fucking with
When
subscriptions.
you get Blackmagic cameras, they give you the studio version for free.
For real?
Yeah.
I should have just bought that. Oh, I should have.
Well, if you wind up upgrading cameras.
Yeah, it's a little too late. I bought it already. But I really like DaVinci Resolve. I like it's just as good as Premiere for me. Like as far as what I needed to get out of it, like
it's kind of taking
that's
over.
all I needed to do.
Yeah, a lot of people are switching to it as like the better one now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've used it for years for color grading footage, but I don't like edit in it.
Yeah,
and I've tried.
I know what you mean.
And it's like different enough to where I don't know how to yet.
Yeah, I switched over and I still was like, this is kind of hard, but I just needed a free option at the time, so it ended up working out. But yeah, when I first switched over, I was like, I don't know about this, but we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, No, it's yeah, your video work is really good too. Like you probably could make money just doing like video editing. Honestly.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody had reached out after I put out. I didn't even put out any of the show yet or anything. It was just it was like a making of for one of the songs, and he called the video like a short film. Like, you can make short films with this one, and I was like, oh, is this how people see it? Wow, I didn't think like it was just a video for me to do. Okay, maybe I should think about that. And then that's when I thought about the TV shows, and then
yeah. No, I think you totally can. It when I was in college, I worked at this like on-campus video production place, but I was getting paid like $10 an hour, and there were some weeks where I got like 2 hours of work, so I was coming home with like $80 paychecks, and so I had to figure something out. So I literally just started like color grading like other people's films for like $300, or I would like Photoshop them a poster for $50, and that's kind of how I made it through college for a while. And yeah, that's what's nice about learning software, is like it kind of makes it to where as long as you have your computer, like you can, you know, like you have a skill. Yeah.
That was a big part of, like, I would just apply what I learned from different. You might not be able to like really think about it, but like when I was using FL, I applied what I learned from FL to like Adobe, Photoshop, and fucking Premiere and shit, because I was like, oh, this is just like that button when I do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just take whatever I learned from here over here, and then maybe it might make sense. And that was kind of how I made sense of shit when I was going from thing to thing. And honestly, actually, Photoshop was like the first thing I ever used.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Photoshop.
Yeah, that was my shit.
It's just fun. How old were you?
14.
Yeah, I was like 11. I was like in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And like I would just make like fake like Mario game posters and shit, you know?
I had a class, I think I had an elective, and it like we had to use GIMP, and I was like,
yeah, the free Photoshop.
Yeah, the free Photoshop.
GIMP 2.
And I was using GIMP, and I was like doing the assignments and shit, and I was like, this is stupid, but like if I could do what I wanted in it, it might be cool. And then I seen some guy on Facebook, and this is Tumblr era we're talking about at the time.
Yeah, I was on
like,
Tumblr.
So we're talking the snapbacks and all that shit. I seen a guy post a photo on Facebook. I never knew him. He went to another school. He did the edit with like your face is melting in colors and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like seeing everybody hype him up like, damn, this shit's crazy, man. Oh, wow, you're so cool. And I was like, this shit ain't shit. I could do this shit. Let me figure this shit out. He's right down the street from me. I should be able to do this shit.
Yeah.
And I downloaded cracked Photoshop, and I was looking at it, and I was like, man, this shit easy. And I did it, and I did the exact same thing, exact same way. And I posted mine, so I was like, and everybody was like, oh, cool, dude. And I was like, what the fuck? This guy just did the same shit, and y'all just wouldn't shut the fuck up about it.
That's so funny.
And I was like, wow. But that was my introduction to Photoshop, and then I ended up making cover arts and shit. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of fun.
My tech club, he showed me this clip of Chief Keef using Photoshop. He's like, this makes me want to.
Yeah.
He's like, if Chief Keef is using Photoshop, he's like,
that's how I was starting to mix. Because he was showing how he mixed songs, and he was
Chief
like,
Keef?
yeah, he was like, oh, I put this on the 808. I just turned this side up because it make it go boom, and make it sound good. I was like, this motherfucker can mix a song in FL. I think I can.
I kind of looked at it like playing a video game, you know? I was just like on a thing, clicking buttons, having fun.
That's exactly, yeah, that's literally, everyone asked me like, oh, how did you learn how to use this thing? How'd you use that? I literally tell them the same thing every time. It's like, I just pressed every single button on there, seeing what everything did. Because when I first went into it, I was like being careful about it. Like, I don't want to fuck anything up.
Yeah.
But then it dawned on me, I was like, wait, this is my computer. This is my software. If I fuck something up, it's mine. So it's not like it's the end of the world. So let me just fuck some shit up. Let me figure the shit out. Press every button.
Go to the filter tab, hit every effect.
Just fucking turn everything up, see what that does.
They had an effect in Photoshop that they got rid of, but in the early version it was called plastic wrap, and it would just make your image look like it was like wrapped in plastic. Like it would kind of try to understand the 3D geometry. And I missed that effect because it was really it
I
was
have
really weird looking.
overlays of that. I haven't found a reason to use them yet, but I have overlays.
That's of plastic.
Yeah.
This one was weird though because it was like generating it, so like it didn't look right, but like it was cool in its own way, you know.
I know what you mean. They can
now
only do so much in that.
Now I feel like I would have to find like a whole tutorial on how to create that look, but there just used to be. When they get rid of stuff, I'm like, just leave it in.
What's the?
Does it cost money to take?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, is that like an extra thing y'all don't feel like dealing with or something?
Yeah, like Photoshop has a 3D tab for like creating like 3D layers that you can then bring into like Blender or something.
Oh.
And recently they're like, we're getting rid of the 3D tab, and I'm like, I use this.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Nah. I fucking just got into 3D. That's the only realm that I haven't fully dove into yet.
That's how I feel.
That's where I've been like, that's why I did the Mickey Mouse thing, because I was like,
oh yeah,
inching into like, okay, I kind of like how people are using Blender to make things and shit, and like they're making shit that isn't there.
Yeah.
All right, let me try this out. And I'm really only super base level of that right now.
yeah.
Barely even that. I'm really just going off of tutorials and like
Yeah, I started the
making
Blender
this shit make
tutorials
sense.
too.
Yeah. And I just figured out how to get what I needed to get out of that shit. So
I have a buddy named Michael Scott, and he's I know, and
That's
he's a filmmaker, but he's like he does everything, but he's just particularly really good at visual effects. And our musician friend Dorian Coulter hit me up, and he was like, "Can we do a music video where I'm on a green screen and you put me in space?" And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, we could make that in like a week."
Yeah.
And then like a year later, I have Michael like simulating like an interstellar black
Yeah.
hole, and Dorian's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "It's gonna be amazing. Don't worry about it." And he was really patient with us, but fucking yeah, it's really cool to just be able to like make whatever you want.
yeah, green screen was. I didn't think it was gonna play so much of a fucking role in my life as it has.
Yeah.
I just thought of it as like a thing, people as a tool. But I was like, damn, I've been using a lot of green screen.
When in your GHETTOLAND documentary, you showed yourself struggling to do the fake genius lyrics thing, and you were in front of like what looked like a purple blanket. We're using that as a green
Yes.
screen. That's like, yeah. See, I love that because it's like even if you don't have like the thing, you can find a way. To...
Yeah, that was exactly what it was. I have a green screen. I had it at that time, but it was like in a storage unit, and I didn't feel like going all the way there to like find it and go through all the back.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, but I really need to use something. So yeah, the purple.
Yeah.
That was like my most down bad. Like I
Yeah.
was like, I'm over here using covers as fucking green screens now, man.
And pretending I'm on Genius.
Yes, exactly. Man. And
I remember you were saying like, I just hate this so much. Like I don't know how people do this, and it's like
Yeah.
all that press junket stuff. Like some of it can be fun.
Yeah.
You know, but some of it is just like.
that was the thing. Like, even if it wasn't like real, I was still like, I had filmed them back to back too. So like my life for that little bit of time, it felt like I was really on a press tour. Cause even if it's not real, I'm still blocking out the time as if I still got shit to do.
That one stopped.
Did it?
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh shit, it did.
Yeah, I might have run out of recording time or something. This one's totally good. Yeah, card is full.
Oh shit.
I mean, that's okay.
All right, yeah, that's cool.
I guess I could make it a wide shot.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. This will be fun. Just leaving the edit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
This one has 22 minutes left.
Oh, cool. We'll probably be done, but
Yeah. This has been a good talk.
what were you just saying?
So, yeah, fuck. We were talking about software, visual effects, 3D, Blender.
Oh, the press tour. Yeah, it was still taking up my time as if it was a real press tour. And it was like, when I was doing it, I was like, damn, if I was really there right now, I would be fucking bombing right now. Because this shit is, I don't know how, because I've been on the camera before and I've talked to like cameras before, but like when I did it in that way, it was like, oh, wow, I've never really just sat and talked to a camera before, and I really don't like this shit. And I already knew that before that, because when I was filming shit before that, I was really trying to push myself to do it, but I just couldn't do it. So when it came to like, all right, I want to do a press tour thing, I it exposed that to me, and I was like, wow, I really suck right now if this was for real. Like,
Yeah.
and it just frustrated me because I really didn't understand. Like, I'm talking. The camera is the people. Like, I'm like,
You're right.
yeah, that's a person I'm talking to, but it's also 10,000 people.
It's hard.
Yeah. So like, the thing was too, like, if it was just anyone else filming me, like if it was like how we're doing right now, it would have felt better.
Right.
But like me talking to a camera felt so fucking like nerve-wracking for some reason.
I've done a few videos where it's just me alone in my living room talking to my camera, and it's
Yeah.
like I can't make eye contact with the lens.
Yeah.
Like, because you just feel like the presence of whoever's behind the screen. Like it's
Yeah,
it's really
exactly.
weird.
That's why you rarely ever see me making like selfies and videos and shit like that, because I really don't like that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I really just like, I prefer it to do shit with people,
Yeah.
or if I'm not with people, at least like just straight up by myself, like in my house or something where I know nobody can hear me or see me, and I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah. I need my friends to like take pictures of me more because I can't just only be doing selfies.
Yeah.
You know, I'm friends with all these photographers. I'm like, can I get some nice photos of
yeah,
myself?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, in your documentary series too, you had or wait, no, this was in your like freestyle thing you did.
Yeah.
It had the cutaways, the
Yeah.
black and white footage where it's all close up on you and it's
Yeah,
like kind of quarter
noir,
profile.
fucking yeah.
Now, y'all should know, I don't want to be seen as just a rapper or whatever, because I have a lot more to offer creatively than that. But I want niggas to know I could really rap my ass off when I want to. Yeah, I might be this creative, artsy ass nigga and make this and that, but at the end of the day, it all started with rap. That's at my core. And I know what you niggas want. You want to hear that fire shit. So let me take you back to the beginning. Show you niggas what's up.
Yeah, like even that like just like looks awesome, and I don't know if that's just a byproduct of not wanting it to be head on, but
That
like,
was that, and it was like I was kind of playing into a character. Some like people were like saying things, and like I don't really look at my comments right now. Like
Yeah.
I don't really want to like know what the fuck is going on. I know what's going on, but I don't know what's going on.
Totally.
Because I really just don't want to like get sucked into that world, because I'm really not here to like argue in comment sections and shit. Now that it's grown so large, I'm kind of backing up from it.
Totally.
But like I knew like what I seen so far, and I was like, oh, okay, they think I'm this guy. Okay, what if I played into that and then like explained some of the things and like give them something to like talk about? Because like I'm like what's built into me is like not having any drama whatsoever. Like I really am not like I try to have it at least as least drama as possible in my life, because I really don't care for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's another major reason why I'm not even like really super popping, because drama is kind of like the thing, the currency online and shit. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm not really like that. So if I'm going to like dip into that part of the world and like try to like start any sort of narratives like that, it's going to be on my terms. I'm going to be the character I want to be. I'm going to show y'all something that aligns with where I'm trying to go anyway. Cool.
Yeah.
And so when I shot that, it was like, I wanted it to be like dark, and they just like think I'm just this like guy like, oh, fuck everything, fuck all of you, ah.
Yeah.
And then the fucking rap was just supposed to be like a sheer display of talent. Like I just wanted people to know, like, at the core of all of this, like I could make all the stupid videos and shit, but like at the core of all of it, there's a talent there. There's somebody that can actually do something that's worth talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Because that shit can get lost in translation when you have something like Uncultured, where I'm not really like barring out like too crazy. It's just like
Making points.
Yeah, it was just
over a
making
good
points.
beat.
Yeah, like, and people were finding me through that, and so they might think I'm just only that. And I was like, is that all right with me? Yes. Okay, then we can move on. No, then make a thing about it and show it, you know?
Yeah, no, that was really good. I mean, you kind of hit different rap styles with like the part 1 and the part 2. And the part, I was just, I wound up texting that to some of my friends, and I was just being like, you guys gotta see what Jimmy's been up
Yeah.
to lately. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's doing everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I just huge congratulations to everything you pulled off. I think the work ethic to, like, actually, like, see all of that through is just really incredible. And, you know, I hope you feel proud of yourself and shit, because
Yeah.
I know life is hard, so sometimes it's hard to, like, even stop and
Yeah.
like, feel good about the work you've done, but you've done amazing
I
stuff.
feel good about it. I'm just trying not to let it get to my head and stuff.
Totally.
Just, like, don't want to get too, like, big-headed about it or anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as, you know, you're just doing it for fun, you know, and not because you're chasing some, like, number or something like that. I
Exactly.
mean, obviously like money makes life easier.
That's the
Yeah.
ironic part about all of this is like at the end of the day you're doing it for this, but you can say you're doing all of this, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day you're doing it for this thing.
You know, I've been doing all this filmmaking stuff, and now, like, I'm doing it through YouTube because I felt like that, like, in this
Yeah.
modern world was maybe the best way for me to become a filmmaker. And I had a friend last year ask me, aren't you, like, trying to be famous? And I was like,
yeah,
I was like, not
particularly.
I'm like, I'm trying to, like, make cool stuff, and I would
Yeah.
hope that people besides myself get to see it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so I don't know, being a, like, known person makes it more likely that, you know, like Rock
Yeah.
Nation will hit you up and then
Yeah.
maybe give you bigger opportunities. But
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to be famous in an arbitrary, like,
yeah, I want to be like fucking Oprah or anything.
yeah.
Like,
And those people exist, you know.
Yeah.
Those people, oh, I just want to get on, you
Yeah.
know. Like, that's like
I
the
know.
whole thing.
Yeah, like literally my whole attitude towards the whole rollout was like, I don't really particularly want to be, I think I put in the interview too that I put on my website, I don't particularly want to be famous. Like, I literally just want to live.
Yeah, you want to make
And, like,
cool art and be able to survive.
Exactly. And like, I know that for a person like me, it makes sense to be that way, to end up that way, because that's how it works. That's kind of where we are right now with like
Yeah.
music. So like, okay, if I got to do that, then okay, I'll do that. But that's not what I'm really here for. Like,
Yeah.
it would be cool to just be able to live. And my whole thing is, once I do get all of this stuff, I'm going to disappear. Like, you're not going to see me much. Like,
I've heard that from so many of my friends who are talented musicians. It's
Like-
just, it's so funny.
I really have no interest in like any of it. And I know like it's one of those things that I may be saying now and then I get it and it's like, oh, I thought this.
Yeah.
But like, I genuinely feel this way right now. And I'm like, I don't really care to like do anything like that.
Well, yeah, that's, you know, one thing, like Donald Glover, Frank Ocean, Rihanna, like they all disappear. And then they, instead of, you know, catering to their audience at every turn, they make the audience come to them.
Yeah.
And it just create, and Kendrick as well.
Yeah.
And it just creates this inherent excitement for when they come back.
Yeah.
And they probably get to just live a more normal life. And I look at like Drake and like
Yeah.
how much he like wants to
Yeah.
be.
He's like the poster boy for all this. Like I just watched the interview with him and Yachty last night.
yeah.
And fucking
He's roasting him for being old.
Yeah. And like Drake, he completely, like, he was really for that shit. He was like, yeah, this is me. This is all I wanted. This is who I was.
He kind of gives me like high school jock character.
Yeah.
You know?
Low key.
Yeah. And like, and you look at Elon, like, you know, he has it.
Yeah.
He has it. And he wants to be liked like so bad and
Yeah.
so transparently. And I'm just like, man, you could just like sell all your shares, have the money in your
And
account,
you would be
then
straight.
and just go chill
Yeah.
somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I gotta
I gotta go
I
to
gotta be
Mars.
the savior of Twitter.
Yeah. I gotta go to fucking Mars right now.
Man, I didn't want to end on Elon. Fuck.
Yeah, that was damn it. This shit.
Shit. We were on a good path.
Yeah, we were, weren't we?
No. Let's have another water break.
Yeah, water break.
Yeah. Just play Ocean Man.
Yep.
By Wii. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Love that.
This was good.
I have to piss really bad.
I'm so cold. Let's end
Yeah,
it.
so we're gonna end this right here.
All right, everybody, check out Jimmy. For you were Jimmy Luna.
I was Jimmy Luna, and now I'm Jimmy. I dropped the Luna because it was stupid, and I made it in high school.
All right, everybody, check out Jimmy. Everybody, this is Jimmy. Go check him out.
I got to piss like a Russian racehorse on a Kentucky Derby with a glue truck behind it on a Saturday morning.